Mic check. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Are we live in this joint? We live in this joint. Peace and love to everybody. It's the God Aladdin. Let's see where we at. You already know what we finna do. Play some music and we gonna get right into it. I say I need it. Me and April undefeated. Y'all caught up and y'all be sleeping. The goals that I be achieving will have y'all made if y'all had dreamed it. I been dodging bullets in the matrix. I feel like Neo. Once they set it off, the sheep be getting with bullets like Cleo. A king like a Leo, a king like a lion. Y'all ain't a king, you lying. If you is a king, you ain't trying. That fake shit you put out is the real you. So the real you's what y'all really be hiding. Your girl is who you should be hiding. If she meet a guy like me, that's who she gon' want to go fighting. Fuck Donald Trump and fuck Joe Biden. Fuck the government, that's how I ride it. There are bloody kids and Democrats don't give a damn and inside it. They kill our folks and sell us hope by saying vote. I want a joke, a president or a pope. Get some of my power, nigga, no. I am a king of oneself, I don't need no one else. Manifest, because you a God, don't think nothing less. I'm all into nature, I like to be haters, mad at the players that know how to know. Woman, I gotta just stay in your logic, I'm hurting me real, face to face. You niggas is whack if you haven't just listened to the nature that women do. This ain't a diss, women are wonderful, but I'm just speaking truth. I am Aladdin, that's what I call myself, because I am nothing to all of the magic. I'll be faking y'all lyrics, we not from the same call, if y'all different rappers. Come to the matrix, I don't need it, cause I found out I already have it. The human biology and ophthalmology, what to study if y'all want to have it. I like a real chick that's a little ratchet, she gotta be natural, don't want to plastic, no fake ass, no fake tits, and you be nice soft when I grab. And I'm not lacking, but I'm tired here about guys who got the most money in their pockets and the most diamond shining. That's an illusion, it's blinding, never beating us from finding to reach our higher self and building us up to be better. Let's make our words a little clever, like Lil Wayne when he made the drop song, Lil Wayne when he made dedication before my time on earth run out. I'ma make sure that I leave great. It take patience to hear thyself and know thyself and love thyself and go to the dark and do shadow work and realize it gotta be you and nobody else can do it for you. Meditate, raise it lower, elevate, dig it lower, hydrate, ice water, levitate like a king cobra, call it checkmate, cause now it's over for the lanes that don't know a thing about the knowledge that I just told you. It's crazy cause I'm a barber that go harder than niggas that been rapping for years. Got so smarter, which go farther, learn to overcome my fears. It wasn't easy, I feel like Tupac cause I had shed so many tears. Multiple breakups, multiple deaths for the loved ones hit me over the years. I never gave no kick my way up to time out, now everything's fair. I line up chakras proper, then watch your desires suddenly fear. Let me make this clear, this is something I want you to hear. Keep your third eye open, protect your heart, cause they love don't feel it with fear. I will make that clear, now watch me steer. So go back, I'm a ladies man, not a playboy. I elevate myself, all you do is run around and play boy. I'm a vegan, no estrogen, I'm a man, I eat no soy. But I'ma make sure me and my amigos never broke again. While we young boy, while we young boy, while we young boy. But I'ma make sure me and my amigos never broke again. While we young boy. Shout out to Migos NBA, young boy. King of herself. Long live dollars, long live Aiden, long live Tycoon. Mic check, mic check. Y'all drop a zero. Drop a zero if y'all can hear me. Mic check, mic check. Make sure my audio sound good. Peace and love to everybody in the building. Stepping in. Play a few more jams. Then we get right to it. The ego steady watching me like I got a clock on me, but I'm forever gonna keep it G and they can't stop me. Stay right with the strap on me, got these stones all over me. Gotta protect your energy, cause they gon' charge me. Ego steady watching me like I got a clock on me, but I'm forever gonna keep it G and they can't stop me. Stay right energy, cause they gon' try. I know I found myself, I know myself. It ain't been easy. I've been saying these things for a reason. I knew there was gonna be a season for me to speak this truth. Writing poetry tonight, this cool. Getting loose, no breakthroughs. But I'm off that kill apple celery juice. And every now and again, you gotta edit yourself and reproof. Be the truth to yourself, cause anybody will tell lies and make fake shit sound fine. I don't know how to roll times until use your third eye. The ego steady watching me like I got a clock on me, but I'm forever gonna keep it G and they can't stop it. Stay right with the strap on me, got these stones all over me. Gotta protect your energy, cause they gon' shock it. Ego steady watching me like I got a clock on me, but I'm forever gonna keep it G and they can't stop it. Stay right with the strap on me, got these stones all over me. Gotta protect your energy, cause they gon' shock it. These evil Knievel's using sequels on my people, making things seem believable when it's not even real. I dare these devils to pull a stun on me, man, and like a beacon, I'ma get it crack and show you who's nuts for real. I'm not with that gang shit, but I fight for love. Beware of the people who shame to see us screw you up. Every part of the low vibrational thought that'll leave you lost in the sauce. Be careful who you come across. Stay a real leader, real boss to your own life, cause you live in your life. The closest to you might try to do you, so I keep that chrome tight. But the universe got me, no can stop me. I control my life. Piece of the movement, all about movement, I let it shine bright. That's what evils wanna fight. Gotta shake your back for the night. Cause friends be enemies, homes pretenders, and that isn't healthy for any community that we want to build. To kill the government's will, they keep us on the spells. That's hell. If they succeed, baby, the evil steady watching me like I got a clock on me, but I'm forever gonna keep it G and they can't stop it. Stay right with the strap on me, got these stones all over me. Gotta protect your energy, cause they gon' try it. Evil steady watching me like I got a clock on me, but I'm forever gonna keep it G and they can't stop it. Stay right with the strap on me, got these stones all over me. Gotta protect your energy, cause they gon' try it. Take care of yourself. Know yourself.
Sister Amma, much love to you as well, man. I enjoyed our build. That was a classic. That was one of them classic builds right there. Oh yeah, I'm gonna play one more jam, and then I'm gonna freestyle it for a little bit until someone hop up here. You know.
I guess it's time to rap because that's what y'all want me to do. I ain't trying to rap because that's what all Afro men do. Blaming this crew, acting like fools, flying with twos, breaking the rules. They have no clue that trap music is the trap they want us to rap about. Cause they wanna lock us up and not the ones who be coming out. I'm talking lock us up, no more freedom, no going home now. Yourself all alone now, and I use that phone now. Don't get to hear her moan now. The king kicked off his throne now. Let's get back to the topic, killing you guys with logic. There's a reason they want to hear me rap. They know I'm full of knowledge. Yeah, this knowledge, but this ain't the knowledge that they learn in college. When it comes to this game we call life, just know I'm very polished. And a wizard with astrology, I'm a winner. Like I hit lottery, I'm a winner. If she eye me, cold like winter, come for the colony. Flow like a river, can't put a gun in me. Connect with nature, I know it's funny. Shout out Center, so she can not shout out. It taught me how to connect myself to everything else. Can't be lost and distracted by anyone else because you're freaking who you are and not know yourself. Really only way to build your wealth and build your health is to connect yourself. When you connect yourself, that's when you connect to the one that gave you breath to life. Cause that's right. This spiritual nigga came to deliver a message to your mind's eye. Stay in spinach like Popeye. R.I.P. Dr. Sebi, the great Nipsey and left eye. They was within the community with a diet that's alkaline. So be careful when you speak the truth. The government will catch you. You guys gotta watch your head. No duck, duck, goose can be JFK with a convertible. They'll kill the president and know for sure they won't hesitate to kill you. And that's real shit they all rap about. And I'll never call myself black again. I'm not the type to be lacking. Y'all say power comes from melanin. That dark pigment through our skin. The melanin is so powerful, why you keep calling yourself black then? That's my question. I said if melanin is so powerful, why you keep calling yourself black then? Black means colorless. I'm full of color. You full of light. You a light being. Black means the absence of light. Y'all need to think about that. I'm on y'all heads all tape, and I don't even rap.
Sister Soul in the building. Much love, Goddess Philly OG in the building. Much love. Peace to y'all. Hit the link if y'all want to come and build. You know, we just had a fire build over with Sister Armor. But yeah, I'm doing this for the people. I know y'all wanted to talk, but I don't have nothing planned. I did, I did what I had to do from the transition from my sister Arma's channel to mine. So I handled everything I need to do, stretched a little bit and all that. So I'm good. About to refill my water. Yeah, peace and love to y'all, man. Hope y'all having a high vibrational day. My day's been pretty chill. Yeah, like I said, the panel, the chat. The link is in the chat. I'll drop it again, just in case. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, had a great little build. Been pretty cool. I love when you're able to speak your mind and it be a healthy conversation. That's the best. A lot of times on these panels, we don't get to really express our thoughts. We really get to, get the message off. You know what I'm saying? I think we had a healthy discussion in the community earlier. But yeah, much love to y'all. Shout out to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, if you want to come up here and build, the link is in the chat. If y'all want to ask me any questions, you can do that too. I'm about to roll up and smoke some more. Shout out to everybody. Empress Goddess, peace and love to you. You was rocking with us the whole day too. We got Copper Tone in the building. Peace and love to you, Copper Tone. Much love, bro. God.
What's up? I ain't got nothing to say. I'm at work. I just came up here before your trap get full with dealers and you can't serve and shit. So I get up here and say hey before anybody else. What's up?
What's up with you? Hey, I didn't take what you were saying in the chat earlier wrong. I hope you didn't. When I said that to you, I hope you didn't take it that way. Cause what I learned
I ain't getting up, man. That fucking shit that happened on vegan shit the other night, man.
I don't. Yeah, see, I don't, and that's the other thing, Copper Tone. I don't be knowing everything. I'm always getting caught up in crossfire. I swear,
man. Somebody flashed. My bad. Somebody flashed something, and we supposed to be all this and that, and that shit gonna go unnoticed, unsolved. So all this unity and shit, man. Better get yourself right. What I've been trying to do, I ain't trying to get fucked up over like titles and shit like that. I may read a Bible verse and dare anyone to say a motherfucking thing, huh? That don't mean that I'm for the Bible. Hey, you know what I'm saying? Take the poison and make antidotes. That's it. All that other shit, man, you ain't gonna save nothing. A bitch ain't gonna do a motherfucking thing but act.
Well, yeah, man.
That, let's get it.
I'm not in it. My name Ben, and I'm not in it. I don't know what the hell happened.
No. Hey, look. It was a flasher. Somebody flashed some shit on my brother.
Oh yeah, you talking about that?
So
yeah.
We done let that shit slide. So we ain't gonna do nothing against we don't want no land or nothing, man. Just shut the fuck up and just act.
Okay, now I know what you're talking about. Okay, yes. Okay.
But peace to everyone.
Okay.
Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love to the chat.
Much love. Sir Drop, what's G with you?
Shit, man, glorious, man. Just about to listen to y'all, man. Pick y'all brain and shit.
Yeah, we could talk about whatever. Whatever's on your mind. Yeah, okay, we could. Yeah, it don't matter. I'm with whatever. We could talk about any topic. Much love to everybody in the chat, too. I see y'all. Lady Shea Butter, peace and love to you.
Hey, how do we cut? how do we cut our egos out when we be having discussions and shit? Because I got a bad habit with my ego, and a lot of us do, and it turns into not even constructive conversations anymore. It start turning into, disrespect and arguing instead of constructive criticism. We got to figure out some kind of way. Not all of us, but some of us, with some people like me, we got to figure out some kind of way where push everything to the side and just absorb the information. Because I be seeing a lot of bills be about to go left because people disagree on certain things. How y'all think we can go further without doing that shit?
I think it starts with accepting. Like a lot of people don't want to accept someone else's thought, and that's where it starts. Someone may say something that you don't agree with, and I'm not saying you got to accept what they saying as truth, but accept that this is what they stay firm on. This is what they stand on. I think what happens is a lot of people get lost in what they think about or believe or know or whatever. And that creates that friction. And now niggas is arguing. Now niggas is bickering or complaining or saying niggas is stupid. And then it just become a whole fucking shit show just because niggas is trying to talk about wisdom and knowledge. You know what I mean? So we just got to accept that certain people believe this or know this or stand on this or think they're this or whatever. Once we can accept, all right, everybody got their own frame of thought or they could think for themselves, then we could kind of like start really building for real. That's my perspective. Y'all go ahead.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
I think y'all need to grow up.
Yeah, we all do. It's like we don't see. Well, I ain't see my parents because I'm about old as they was when I'm looking back on it. I didn't really see them arguing about stuff that can't be proven or anything like that. I guess everybody waking up so fast in this millennial day and age that it's more stuff to discuss about because they was kind of all stuck in their ways. That's how it went. But when like I be finding myself arguing with somebody, I be having to realize like, bro, I ain't in the 7th grade. What the hell is so serious? You know what I mean? But it'd be too late. The damage already been undone before I caught myself. You know what I mean? I got to figure out how to catch myself before because I always been sharp at the tongue, like ever since forever. So I would have to really not be me in order to keep peace and shit. So I gotta learn that too.
You know what? I wouldn't say not be you, Sir Drop. I would just say more self-control. That's all. Like discipline yourself to not react so quick, or just because you hear something that don't make sense to you, hurry up and be like, hey man, that's some bullshit. Or, it's more of that. Not really. Like you can say that shit to yourself. Like, oh, this nigga some bullshit. But just say it to yourself. You ain't gotta, let it be known.
I think. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say, if I could be honest with Drop, sometimes I think you let that alcohol take control of you too, brother.
Oh, most definitely. All the time. It's never a time I done argue with somebody sober on this motherfucker.
That's true.
So yeah, you hit it right on the head. Quit drinking. I be wanting to try to, but that shit ain't. I don't know. That shit weird. That's some old alcoholic shit for real. It's like you can't just like I don't drink wine, beer, none of that shit. Straight liquor, straight weed. So I mean I don't know what that shit is, but it goes through all my motherfucking all through my forefathers and shit. It's like I could drink a whole fifth of liquor. I'll be kind of drunk versus people getting wasted. Like I don't be staggering and all that shit. And I drink heavy as fuck. Sort of like if I don't stop, that shit gotta be doing something to my motherfucking liver. It got to, or my kidneys. And but I don't feel nothing. I don't feel, but it gotta be doing something. It got to. But yeah, you're right though. If I'm buzzing, the wick is so short that it don't really get the best of me. It'd be like a nigga so submissive when a motherfucker sober, where like letting so much shit ride, it kind of balance it out. You know what I mean? What they say, a drunk motherfucker don't tell no lies. You know what I'm saying? But it kind of messes builds up when they take over me like that, and the person that's provoking me notice, and they do it on purpose. When I go back and listen to certain shit, it seems like they'll push my button on purpose, and it'd be like the same three people every time, and I don't know how it works, but some people say it's a spell, but who knows?
That's a
Um,
good.
I
Go ahead.
think the self control, just knowing your surroundings, and maybe the less people up on these bills, like get a get a 1-on-1, or like a minute each bail or something like that, because um I think the more platforms, the more people gonna want to speak and stuff. It ain't nothing wrong with that. I guess just knowing that thyself more. Cause
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't need to talk all the time. When I first came in it, man, I was like that. But I think mine come from probably butting in or something. But I'll fall back. I'll say some shit and then leave. But I don't know. Let's get it.
Um, no, y'all all said some real shit. Sir, if you know people aggravate you, now that you had knowledge of that, it's like you could kind of go in the battlefield prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, if I want to get up on these panels or open my panel up, my platform up, and I'm a little tipsy, I'm gonna be on my toes because I know that motherfuckers would like to, tempt me or urge me. You know what I'm saying? Or like you said, even just taking a break from the shit. You know what I mean? Just falling back from it. Cause yeah, motherfuckers, man, people on these panels, boy, they be doing some shit on purpose. You ain't never lied on that part. I be paying attention to that shit too. That's
Yeah,
just
I don't read the chat if I'm on the panel. If I'm in the chat, I'm off the panel. I don't even do both because that start taking shit other different places. Some of these people don't even have a damn channel, and it's not gonna even hop on a panel, but got so much to say that kind of piss you off. Then you
right.
got these people that um like Copper was just saying, they so long winded. 10 people. And then if you butt in, you're cutting them off. If you don't butt in, the narrative gonna change. Now you got 4 people that got something to say, but this person is talking for 4 minutes. You got 4 people trying to butt in. That adds frustration. Next thing you know, everybody like yeah, da, 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 and they're trying to get it off because one person was so everything. I ain't
That's
saying if you in your bag, stay in your bag and you go long as you want, but sometimes people just want to be heard, sound slick, and take up the whole mic time. And that be frustrating me too. I'd be like, God, dog, I can't, I don't know. But then I talk so slow, you can easily cut me off. It's so easy to cut me off. And they do that on the same token. I'm like, all right, you just talk for 5 minutes. I said 4 sentences and you cut me back off again. All right, cool. Y'all go ahead. That type of mentality. And then once I do that 20 times, I'm gonna be like, look, bitch, nigga, quit cutting me the fuck up. That's just me. I can't just keep it. Well, um, I'm gonna do that probably 5 times. Then I'm gonna be like, oh, you cut me off on purpose. You only come in when I'm talking. I don't hear you cutting nobody else off. So then I know it's a direct attack on my intelligence. And my natural response is to call it for what it is, and forgetting that I'm messing the build up when I call it for what it is. but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But probably don't. You'll have to. I don't know, and I'm impatient, so there it is.
Um, no, you're right. You know, because a lot of motherfuckers do be hogging the mic, like for real. Like especially sometimes it be a fire topic. Like say we talking about something that, like you said, shit. Like five of us got something to say because it's like, oh hell yeah, this is something we want to talk about. And the motherfucker hogged the mic for 3 minutes. Shit, at least two of the motherfuckers forgot what they was gonna say. One of them mad as hell because they ain't talking. You know what I mean? So like a lot of shit be happening emotionally too. Like that, it be a lot of emotion, and it's like we gotta, control. Like I said, self control is another big one. You know what I'm saying? That matters.
Basically, it's the effect of when we used to blurt out in class and the teacher would get mad. Like, raise your hand, blurting out, you messing the whole build up, you distracting the other students. But then a student that's blurting out, it's because the teacher never picked them when their hand is up. When the teacher never picked the one with their hand up, and they probably was the one that was falling behind a little bit, but they know about this, so they raising their hand. The teacher's still picking on the class pets. So then that ADHD children just gonna speak out like it's B, it's George Watch, it's da da da. They like raise your hand, raise your hand, raise. And then it's just like, hold on, I don't even. By the time you call on me, I ain't gonna know what the hell y'all talking about. Because the narrative change on these bills, it can go from flat Earth. By the time you get them out, they talking about the Anunnaki, and it's like, wow, bro. Let me rewind this. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. That's big facts. Hey, shout out to Sister Soul, Sister Soul. Much love to you. Peace and love.
Peace, brother.
Indeed. Anything you want to say, you could go ahead and chime in if you want.
Well, I was gonna say I hear what y'all saying on that. And I think that it comes from the not having the content. A lot of times it's like we building. Like this one, I see you. I know you said you went live because y'all was on another live, so it was like okay, people still want to chat, so y'all ended it. So you came over here. So I done had that happen, and I did it before too. So that's understandable. But when like people start like a build, right? Open panel. Okay, open the panel is fine, but it's like we're opening the panel up to anything. And then when you get anything, people want to get a little upset. You know what I'm saying? You open the
Mm,
panel, you don't have a topic, you don't have a particular thing that you're building on per se. And then like everybody wants to chime in because it's like, okay, it's an open panel, so we can talk about anything. You know, the topic's open, blah, 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 blah. So where when a person see like an open panel or open build or something on the thing. So they'll jump up there on the panel. In their mind, their idea is what I'm thinking about. Whatever is on their mind, whatever their thought is, it may be totally irrelevant to what this person's talking about right now. It may be totally irrelevant to what the next person brings up and says. So it's like a jumbo. It becomes like a big soup of conversation. So when it's a big soup of conversation, it's kind of hard. Like say if you're sick and you got some chicken noodle soup and you're like, okay, I just want the broth and the little noodles. You got to pick through it and this, and that. So that becomes an issue of dissecting the information because it's all over the place. This is what I've noticed a lot of times. That's why I had to kind of like ease back from people's panels because it's like it's always some animosity behind like this person's not hearing this person, this one don't hear this person. But what it is there's so many different topics being thrown upon at the same time where one person may want to touch on something this person said, but in between the time where that person said something, somebody else came in, they're talking about something different. So now this person wants to try to catch up and go back to where this person went, and then now this other person has something in their mind because they going somewhere else based off what this person said. Then it starts to become a confusion because it's like, wait a minute, let me get my point out. No, hold on, my point. I'm trying to retract to what this person said. So then it starts to be the chaos. And it's because there's never any order. People don't know how to have like the order. It seems like it's like the chaos seems so comfortable that it's like this. I only been around for the shortest time that I know. It's been almost a year now, and from what I see, it's always the chaos because nobody hears nobody else. Even if they hear them, they don't really hear them. They might hear them
right.
speaking, but they don't get it because they're in their mind. They're thinking about what they want to talk about. They're thinking about what they're saying. They're thinking about this, and that. So now it's like they have here the person, and then that becomes another issue. It's a consistent, like just a whirlwind of gumbo, and it's like
Um,
nobody can
you
make
know what,
particular
you
dissection.
you saying some you saying a lot. You saying mouthful. That's all facts and fire what you saying. Because what I even realized, what I try to do on these panels now lately, just something I've been doing, is if I'm not talking, right, and we're having an interesting conversation, and then it starts going left and right and left as far as what we talking about, I'll kind of remember where we left off at and be like, hey y'all, let's start talking about or y'all never answered this, or you know what I mean, like try to keep that order because it happens a lot, like you're saying. People will start thinking about what they want to say, and so they connecting this to that and that in this, and not going back to what we was even talking about at first. And then now I lose my thought, other people lose their thought, and then now we don't even know what we talking about no more. People in the chat bag, what's the topic, and all this, like sometimes like, hey
Right.
y'all, what we was bringing up was this, and that's why we went drifted off into wherever. But this was the basis of the conversation. So I do my best to like memorize what was a strong point.
And you know what, bro? And you're right. It's not. I don't. It's not really so much about it going somewhere. Let me clarify that real quick too. It's fine, like if the conversation leads to other things based off what everybody is focused on in the conversation. But what happens is instead of listening and staying on topic with this particular point and letting this person get that off, and then going with that, then go to something else. The order is the whole thing. It's like just keep the order. Stay focused. If you got a point, shit, if you're gonna forget it, write it down real quick. So I'm gonna come back to this point. Keep a notepad, shit,
Right.
when you get up on here. Whatever you got to do, just don't have an issue or what have you. I'll do it. I get how can I say intrigued in the conversation as well sometimes. Another problem I notice is the interjection versus the interruption. Soon as somebody interject with something, it's a, oh, you interrupted me, this, and that, because the person's so scared they're not going to be able to finish. Soon as the person says one or two words, so now that person's a bad guy because they feel like they interrupted this, and that. There's a huge difference between an interruption and an interjection. If a person's speaking on something, someone wants to add or deliberate a word or two, on what they're saying, that shouldn't be a big issue. A remark or a add on to something a person's saying. If it's not totally distractible, what is the big problem? Just continue what you're saying. You don't gotta, oh, you interrupt me, da da, da. And then there goes the argument. There goes now you done forgot what the hell you was saying. Da da da, all of that, and that causes more commotion. Stay focused on what you're talking about, get it out, and keep it moving. Because doing that, a lot of times, I'll hear people say, like I'll complain about the interruption thing, and then they'll say, "Well, so you interrupt." No, I don't. I'll interject, and I will interrupt if somebody's lying on me. I'll interrupt if somebody's saying something that's not true. Other than that, I don't interrupt people. I'll sit for a whole hour. I don't know why people don't even notice that. I'll sit a whole hour on the panel sometimes, and I won't say a word till somebody say, "Oh, sister, so you got something to say?" Or if it's a quiet, then I can jump in and say what I got to say. I'll remember my points. Whatever I want to talk about, I'll literally write it down if I want to say this, and that, and I see somebody else start talking about something else. If it was important enough, I'm gonna write that shit down because I know I'm gonna forget, and I'm gonna bring it back up when the opportunity presents itself. But what happens is people want to have a focus to get that attention on what's going on right then, what they're saying, what they're doing, that point they're making, instead of just making the focus about what you were putting out there. You don't have to get distracted by a simple interjection or something. Interruption, definitely, because it's rude, it's disrespectful. You feel like you're not being heard. That's totally different. If somebody just intercedes with a word or two on something you're saying, they're paying attention to what you're saying. So they have an add on. That should be good. It shouldn't be negative. It's just the way people perceive things. And people have to have different outlooks and stop being so closed minded to the way they seeing things. Because that's what I be saying. I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot of shit. Let me shut up for a
You
minute.
know, you good, you good. I think it's important to talk about this because we talk about the community and what we need to be doing as far as like just have a better life. But like if we gonna talk about that, we need to talk about how we need to interact with each other because that's what we're doing more than anything. So these conversations is needed. Like it's time to kind of reflect on what we need to do, and how can we talk and how can we understand and how can we have self-control and what's a good way to communicate with each other so we get points across and not get too emotional and all that. This is conversations that's needed. So I'm glad you going in, letting it out, because like I said, I do my best, and sometimes I even like I tell people, man, every topic or every panel is not meant to be on. Like some people get on panels just right away, but it's like this might not be the panel for you to be on because of the conversation. Even if you rock with the person, or even if you support the person, just be in the chat, listening, hit the like button or something. But sometimes I think everybody wants to talk. And some people don't know, like, this ain't the time to talk. There's a time and place for everything, because there be times like I had a day in my life where, things wasn't going right. I wanted, like, man, I need to talk to my family on the YouTube streets, whoop, whoop, whoop. But I'll hop on the YouTube and I see y'all talking about this. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. Hop on the next channel. What they talking about? Oh, nah. You know what? I'm going to just listen, man. And I'm going to just sit back and listen. And if I have something to say, shit, I say it out loud to myself. So that way I feel like I'm still a part of it without being a part of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's little techniques that you can do to, like, just help yourself learn how to communicate. Because then once you get it out, if you talk to yourself and get it out, sometimes when you get on the panel, you kind of like already let it go. So you ain't got to really interrupt people when they say something that you don't really agree with. Because it's like, well, no, I already know how I feel about it. I ain't even going to say nothing, But it's like having these conversations and getting each other's perspective on what we should do to build and have healthier discussions. Because I think this is a very, very intelligent community, man. Like everyone has such an insight to things that's unique, but we clash. And I mean, I think clashing is natural. It's supposed to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's natural, but we got to know how to maneuver that. We don't want it to fail. And I think that's what we're talking about, because we be having failed panels or failed discussions. And then that's when it's like, damn, that's not the goal. We trying to get somewhere with all this. You know what I mean? But yeah, y'all got it. I ain't gonna hog the mic. Y'all can go ahead and talk if y'all got something to say. Coppertone, it's not letting me. It says device not connected. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
And that was a good point about, like, all right, say somebody set the premise on something that they want to talk about, right? They like, yeah, I was thinking blase this, blase that, and I wonder if the Titanic plates do this and that, right? And then a person come in and say, hell yeah, because if you in an airplane and you go so far out of space, right? Then it's like, okay, the premises was dealing with Titanic plates. What happened when the earthquake? And then you took me in a rocket outer space, changed the whole premise, the whole narrative. And it's like, it's something that I really wanted the people to talk about. Not saying me personally, anybody that bring up a premise that's interesting. The person that changes it normally don't know nothing about that topic. So instead of just staying muted and asking questions, because if I don't know, then I'm going to ask a question. And if I catch something that I never heard before, I'm going to interrupt and say, damn, that was dope. Say that one more time so my brain can catch it. Other motherfuckers that just change it because all they know about is, all right, magnetism. Let's say that's all they know about. So no matter where the conversation going, this person will always bring it back to magnetism. And it's like, all right, cool, bro. Quit changing the narrative. And when every time somebody else come in, I don't know. It's hard to explain because I guess the person that come in would be changing the narrative if it was about magnetism. So I guess it worked both ways. But
I think it's just a way you deliver what you saying. You know what I mean? Like I done seen, like, I done seen a lot of people switch the subject, but it'd be like the right timing type shit. Because sometimes that's what it is too. Like, say you do want to bring something up, and you like, man, I know these are the right people to build with on this topic, but they into something else. sometimes you just gotta wait your little 2 3 minutes, and then be like, once you see it kind of die down a little, then you could be like, hey, you know what else, y'all? Won't. And now they ready to kind of shift the conversation. Sometimes people just hop in at the wrong time with that, and you be like, God damn, like, bro, we in the middle of a discussion. We trying to figure out where this puzzle piece go, and you over here talking about this other piece of the puzzle that we ain't even worried about right now. You know what I mean? So just knowing when to hop in and when to hop out is important.
And truthfully, I think I'm a hypocrite on that because I don't think we even know when we do it. I think that the thought be so powerful in the mind where you like so was just saying you want to get it out. So like if the ancestors talking, they I know my ancestors, if they talk through me, they not gonna care what we was talking about. They just gonna say it and they be like, damn, that was deep. And then I'll say, all right, man, y'all can get back on topic. I just needed to say that. At least I know I changed the whole narrative. I'd be like, sidebar, bro, la 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 la. But y'all go back ahead. I just had to get that out my head, get that shit on the record. But y'all go ahead.
But drop, how you know that's the ancestors and that's not your ego talking to you, bro?
Mm.
Because
Sometimes when you're doing,
I'm about to
wait,
tell you why. I'm about to tell you why.
wait, I'm trying.
It's because,
Okay, go ahead.
right, you say, how did I know? I'm about to tell you how I know. Because it be shit that I didn't fucking know before I had to say it. It ain't like I studied some stuff. No, when my ancestors talk, this shit just come within. And then people will Google it and all that and they'll be like, yeah, you right. I'll be like, you'll hear me say, I know they right. But go ahead, that's how. But no, my ego was like how I just came in and cut you off and said you asked me a question. That was my ego right there. I do need to check that. But no, when my ancestors talking, that's a whole different thing.
But how are you able to determine when it is the ego? This was what I'm trying to ask you. I understand. I heard you speak on this before, but specifically, what I'm asking you is, how do you determine if it's your ego versus your ancestor? Your ego has the same aptitude to tap into information within you and to come up with a snap judgment or a snap decision or an idea that you've imagined in your head. And that could also be perceived as a thought from the ancestor. I'm not saying that you don't hear the stuff from your ancestors. So I'm just asking you a specific question as
All
to
right,
how do
cool.
you. Okay.
Yeah, listen. All right, cool. You can ask me again. I just
No, you
told
got
you.
you didn't
All
you
right,
had it
cool.
the first time and you stopped me and you didn't really answer my question. So I just want to make sure
No, you
you
said,
know
how
what
did I
I'm
know
asking.
it's not the, how do I know it's not the ancestors and not my ego? My ego was going to want to tell you what the hell I know. My ego was going to want to impose its will on what I'm thinking. When my ancestors talking, the thoughts just come and they will fucking leave. I'm not imagining nothing. I'm not sitting there just daydreaming and then, no, they'll leave if I don't say it. So then I will interrupt and say something they said. I would literally have to listen back to it to catch the gem that I said. That's how I know it be my ancestors. I don't even know what I be done said.
But
I,
how do you not know if the ego, now you know what the ego is entailed with, right?
what the ego is entail with, what the
Yeah.
ego entail with. No, I don't know.
Okay. Okay. So it could be a matter of things like you. It could be a matter of the things around you, the technical stuff, that stuff I always be talking about when it comes to like the waveform, ideas being implanted in your mind, thoughts being implanted in your mind, all these type of things. That could also play a part of your ego because you're not really aware of it. So that's that other self that actually taps into you and you're thinking like, oh, this is my inner self, my energy, as we say. But it actually could be something else. So what I'm trying to say is that, like, sometimes when we think it's one thing, like an idea, it could be another idea that's being implanted. So what I'm trying to say to ask you, because now maybe this is something, oh, I've been experiencing this since I was young, and it's a certain feeling I get. Or I'm just trying to ask you because I'm inquisitive. So I'm not questioning anything you're saying. So make sure you hear me. So when I'm asking you again, I'm gonna try to say it another way. Is there anything specifically to make you know that, okay, other than it just, the idea pop in your head? Because we know that that can happen other ways too, bro. So what I'm saying is there a certain thing that you feel? Is this something that resides in you because you've been doing this since you was a kid? I mean, what is it that makes you know that this is like, I know this is this, and I know this from my ancestors, and you gonna know that, so I know you is. But what makes you feel that? I'm just interested, because I hear you say this a lot, and I'm not just asking a stupid question if it seemed like that or trying to be funny or no dumb shit. I really want to understand it.
All right, all right. It's like this. If I don't want to call it prophesizing, right? But if you say something you never researched, never thought about, never was even on your plate, and then you look that shit up and it's real, you can call it whatever you want. I call that force the ancestors. But I see what you're saying. It could be any type of force. It could just be your chakras that's all the way open and you calling them your ancestors or whatever. That's just the word I use because it's coming and the thoughts is being seem like they're being regenerated through people that's in my bloodline that passed away that probably said the same things. Sort of like I hear dead people, ghost whisperer. Um, Put it like this: if I know something about, say y'all talking about orca whales, right? I don't know nothing about orca whales. They'd say something to me, and I say it to y'all like, "Hey, did you know orca whales? Blase, blase, man, that shit crazy." And then motherfucker be like, "How you know?" I'll be like, "I don't know. Look it up." They'll look it up, and I'll be right. That's not nothing. That's not a imagination. That's something else. That's a conscious speaking that I had no knowledge of before I said it.
Right, right. And so now that's very important. Thank you. I appreciate you answering that for me because this is something that it's like a inner um um ability that a lot of people have and they don't tap into, right? That's why I'm asking you about it, bro, because this is something I've been experiencing since I was a little kid. you know, the same thing you're saying, and that's why I was like, how do you feel this and what's going on? I'm resonating with you when it comes to the way you explained it, if even, because the same thing with me. I'll know something and it's like it's crazy because it's like, dang, I don't know how I knew it. I don't know where the capacity for me to actually have a real understanding of something is, right? And then it'll just like be confirmed in other ways. I might not even necessarily know through somebody else say, like, I'm new to y'all with the YouTube. So before that, most people I'm the one that everybody call, oh, could you help me with this? What do I do about this? What do I say? What I'm the one that everybody come to. So I never really had people to converse with about a lot of the things that are on my mind. So listening to y'all, it's like, a lot of stuff for me, I be feeling like, oh, I'm a little strange, I'm a little different. I'm a little weird, then when it comes to certain things or people, when I hear you guys, it's like, okay, so this is just that certain people don't get this or they don't understand it or
Mhm.
whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? I literally have a friend like that I've known for a while that she considers me like a Moses, which might sound crazy to some people, but she trips out because the stuff that I tell her, and then when she's confirmed of the stuff, she be like, "How you know that? How you know that? How you know that?" So to her, it seems like it's like, wow, she's like in amazement with me. So with people that are like-minded, or like since I'm around people like myself that understand things, that's the thing. We understand things, we feel things, we resonate with things. Um, it's a little different because now I can feel that the coincidence, in my mental capacity. I can vibe, and I can, I can flow free, and I don't got to be, hesitant in my thoughts. Like, oh, should I say this? Oh, this gonna be too much. Oh, they gonna think this stupid. Oh, she'll think this crazy. Oh, this might sound out the way. You know what I'm saying? It just be real weird. And like, even with the things with the thoughts and the confirmation of those things, I'll be like, okay, I know this thing, but I don't know how. And then sure enough, something will just come up out the blue, have nothing to do with it, and it confirms it. Or somebody else will be talking
Hmm.
about something unrelated, and it confirms it. And I'm like, well, dang, okay, I guess it just like came out the blue. This is what's going on when I was younger. So hearing you say that is just it resonates very well with the fact of how I say people just are not tapping into, let me say that, tapping into the inner strengths that we have, because we have so many different abilities in us, and because they're being blocked by all these different things, and the reality we're living in, this 3D has everybody consumed in this physical. So it's so hard to tap into these abilities with certain people because they consume with so much of what's going on. Terraformed in the mind and the body, and it's just like hard, but I don't know. To me,
Right.
it's kind of this, I don't know, bro. I'm just thinking in my head. I'm just talking. Cause ain't nobody said that. Y'all can interrupt me anytime. I should have said that.
No, I like letting people talk over here because I'm going back to what we talking about. It'd be hard to talk. I was one of the people, my years in the YouTube streets. I'll be wanting to chime in, or what would happen to me? What happens to me the most is I'll bring up a good point and we'll start building on it, and this and that and the third, and then like an argument starts, and I'll be like, "Damn, man, I brought this shit up for a reason. Now we not even talking about it." You know what I mean? So like that would happen to me, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just start going live sometime, and we could just free thought. Like that's why I did that because I didn't really have a topic. It was just more from the energy from the last build. So I was like, yeah, we just gonna freestyle it over here. But I do want to just talk about having the free thought because at the end of the day, that is a good topic. We don't. Some people kind of judge each other's thoughts. We don't be able to have them free thoughts and express it. It gets judged so quick, even within us. We always say we free spirit and open minded and all that, but shit, we be sure be the quickest motherfuckers to judge something too.
And that's
Right.
why I name all my lives Hood Talk. I don't really do topics. Hood Talk. Come up barbershop talk. Come up here and talk this shit. We could talk about basketball for Christ's sake. I ain't gonna what they say reside with one ideology. Like I'm not
Mhm.
gonna base nothing on because I be done said something and checkmate it myself. I be done said something thinking it was the ancestors, back to your point, and finish talking and be like, nah, scratch all that. That wasn't even him. That was some bullshit. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like one time I said, the sun. The sun is not the source of heat, right? That was the ancestors, right? But then my dumb ass took it wrong and was thinking the sun don't produce heat, right? And then I said, well, no, I can burn a piece of paper with a magnifying glass. The sun can go past the clouds and then I don't feel the heat no more. But then I had to remember also it's forms of heat. So that sun actually heats the concrete up. So that's putting heat off into the air. It's all kind of different ways to get heat. So this
Mhm.
what the ancestors was telling me is the sun is not the only source of heat. And I listened to them all.
Mm. That was fire.
But you
Hey,
notice oh go ahead, my bad, you got it
oh,
Capitan.
sorry. Is this in play too? After you fuck up and said too much, could you apologize like on this? Hey, vegan brother, sorry for on Sister Alma's. Hey, I wasn't. Hey, we need to eat every. I mean, well, hey, what you eat don't make me shit. So vice versa. So hey, can't we all just get along? We all can. Peace.
Yeah.
See there? I'm trying.
Copper Tone. That's what I just did to you because, like I said, I didn't know if we really had anything. It didn't feel that way, but I just know how like when you're passionate, because sometimes passion gets misinterpreted as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? So when I responded back, I was kind of passionate, and I didn't want you to think like I had a problem with what you were saying, you know. So
nah,
sometimes just
I ain't.
even being I know. I'm just saying sometimes just being aware that someone could have took it personal helps. Like you got to think of the others when you do talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what I was saying because I know I came passionate, and I was like, damn, I hope bro don't take what I'm saying wrong because I felt my passion energy. I felt it. And I know how I can take someone being passionate sometimes. I'll be like, damn, is you tripping or you just, you in your bag right now? You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, yeah, like what? Hey, Noble, hey, wherever you at, come on back up, man. That was passion, man. That wasn't no violent, huh? I I let y'all
What
handle
about
all
the
the
what
violent,
about the
tough
people?
talkers.
What about the people that don't think you know anything, so they just cut you off because they just feel like you don't know what you're
That
talking about?
that's a troll to me. Like,
Or that's ego too.
yeah, all right. Some people instigate that shit on purpose. I swear. Some people do that shit on purpose, man. Like I ain't even gonna beat around the bush on that one. That's my thought. I'll be seeing the shot like this nigga. Like Sir Drop was mentioning it, or I heard you talking about it not too long ago. Like people get on this motherfucker just to like you'll say, oh, there's 7 chakras. They'll be like, no, there's 10 just because, like type shit. Like, god damn, bro, you know what I'm talking about. Like, stop trying to
Yeah.
outdo me, nigga. You know what I
I'll
mean?
do you or go against you like friction. It's like that be that negative stuff. Like I don't it's certain people, man, that I don't heard on every time I heard them, not once in a while. Every single time I heard them, they was in a full-fledged debate with somebody else on the panel. And it's like, damn, you don't agree with nobody, nigga. You beat out of all these people, hey, one person, you be like, I feel that. That's deep as hell. I don't be getting them type people. That show me they ain't listening. Even if or just earlier we was talking about holistic stuff. Man, they shut me up so motherfucking fast because I'm listening. So it's like, oh no, they done pulled out the syrup, the honey stuff. Oh, they know they shit. I gotta fall back. You see what I'm saying? When I could have easily just trolled that whole thing and just started arguing because didn't nobody up there agree with me. So I could have really like said, watch this and messed the whole show up.
Right.
I don't care what you talking about. You can't go do this and that. And I could just be the devil's advocate the whole time just to be heard. People don't get no attention in their real life, so they'll do it on the panels. So the
Mm,
whole panel attack them. Like if
mm,
everybody don't agree with you, why is you still talking? If I come up here and say something and 3 of y'all be like, nah, and I be like, nah, I'm for real. La 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 la. Then a 4th person be like, I don't feel you on that one drop. Either the alcohol gonna kick in and I'm gonna get belligerent, or I'm gonna shut my ass up and listen because obviously I don't know what I'm talking about. If 5 intelligent people telling me you don't know what you're talking about, cool. Let me sit back and listen now because now I'm happy. I don't know what I'm talking about because I get to learn something new. A lot of people just want to be heard and go against the grain, but thinking they're gonna brush some waves in their head is crazy.
mm.
A lot of people just seek or need attention, brother. A lot of people have lack in different areas, and because of that, they have to have or need that attention. So if it's taken away from them, something King of Higher Self said earlier, I forgot because we've been talking about. It's like a kid, and you take the candy from them, like you sitting around, somebody done took their candy, so somebody's listening to what they're saying, they're giving them that focus, that attention. Now somebody comes in and interrupts that. That's like, it's a joy, that's taken from a person. Sometimes when they're getting that attention, maybe they're in the environment or they're in an area where people aren't hearing them. They might be in the family, but people, got other stuff going on. They ain't paying no attention to them. They ain't listening to them. They got important stuff they saying. Nobody's ever trying to hear what they got to say. So now here they is. They on the panel. They're building. They get the chance or the opportunity to express themselves, which is a lot of times what we need. People have the need to express ourselves. We are human. This is normal stuff. So when people go to express themselves and then somebody comes and interjects their expression, it's a damper on their feelings. It's like marching on what they're saying, like, oh, you don't matter, you don't mean anything. So they'll feel a certain type of way. And then sometimes it turns into aggression. Sometimes it's happened with me. I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not just making this shit up. you know, I'll sit on a panel, I'll be quiet or something, or somebody will, I start talking or something, then they want to interrupt me or start talking about something else while I'm in the middle of saying something, just something ignorant, whatever. So I'll be like, wait a minute, I've been sitting here patiently. I heard everything you said. I could probably repeat they whole damn conversation because I was listening to them. But as soon as I'm speaking, you're doing this shit to me. And then I might get aggressive because now I'm feeling some type of way because why? I was sitting there being patient. Not to say that that's okay or that's right. Sometimes people can't help their aggression. Let me say that too. A lot of it is, the meat. We talk about that all the time. The meat that people eat and stuff that causes aggression. People don't even know they're not intentionally trying to be aggressive. And even though I'm a person that knows that, I'm a person as well that has a physical ailment. I mean, I done told you I got shot with a 38 in the head. I can't help it. I have PTSD. I have anxiety. Sometimes somebody will say something. I could be trying to hold that shit, but shit, I'll snap on your ass. But that's a mental disability. I can't help that. So if people can't understand that, that's a problem with them. That's their problem. I can't get upset with that because they can't understand and have empathy or sympathy. Oh, well, this sister got an issue. Let me make sure, because usually, I know she cool. She good people. I know she got love for people. So if she snapped or something, it must be something going on. Let me just ignore her. No, oh no, they'll take that opportunity and run with the shit. It just be amazing to me. And it's like, wow, I had so much empathy for everybody else. I apologize if I hurt their feelings, this and that. But when it come to me, it's like, well, damn, shit, we can't have no sympathy for this shit. I guess I'm just so new or something, so it put me in my feelings. But so everybody deal with things the way they deal with it. I can't expect everybody that's on the panel to understand, oh, Sister Soul got issues. She got a mental problem, or she got this, or this happened to her. People ain't going to be thinking it because they feeling their own way, they in their emotions. But usually I try to have empathy. You might not know that, but because I know most of these things, I try to have the empathy. Shit, I slip sometimes, but I try to. I try to be quiet. I'll mute myself, let them go on or whatever. But when it just be getting too much, sometimes it should build up, or whatever. I might be in my own emotions because I got personal stuff going on. I mean, I've been dealing with a lot of stuff the last couple of months. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people are dealing with things, so people don't know the depth of what they're dealing with. So they're having a lot on their shoulders. They may have came to the panel because, oh, I need to talk. I'm stressed, just like the brother just said. And then everybody's, not thinking because they don't know what's going on with this person. Then now you're just doing this to that person. Then they're feeling something else. And it's like, okay, now it's an overload. You know what I'm saying? So we deal with so much on a day-to-day basis ourselves, but it's like, do you think that other people aren't dealing with these things themselves? You have to kind of think about that sometimes. You gotta
No,
realize the world ain't about you. Shit, it's like all of us in this shit. We gotta think about each other
you,
and be more considerate to each other as well.
you're
That's
so right.
you know.
Yeah, you're so right. That's one of the issues. Like everybody going through some, everybody going through something. So like that's why I be mentioning a lot lately is like paying attention to the illusions that you create yourself. Like we get caught up in the world and they doing this and they're doing that. Oh, this is not real and that and that and that and it's cool. But what about the ones you create within yourself? Your reality, the belief systems you had just because of something happened to you when you was a child, or the way you grew up, or a belief system you had, or someone passed away, or you had a life changing event happen, and now you have these belief systems, or you. And when I say belief systems, like I say, it's not always spiritual, like spiritual beliefs or religion. It's more of just what you think is real, and it's just your belief, not no one else's, not nothing that someone taught you. It's just something that you experienced, and now you have this belief. You know what I mean? Like some people be like, nah, I'll never drive a certain car because every time they got that car, it breaks down on them. So now they believe that those ain't good cars. But another person could say, oh no, that car run good for me, woo woo woo. But now you're like, nah, I don't believe that. You know, so that's a belief system. It's not always it don't have to be the spiritual sense when I say belief systems. So you have your own belief systems that you create within yourself that you know, like may push on others sometimes, or you may feel you need to defend it, or whatever the case may be. It's like that's the kind of stuff we got to kind of like question ourselves, you know, in a way like, damn, is the shit I'm thinking, is it even real? Or did I just come up with this shit on my own and I'm just confident? And, you know, kind of like going back to what y'all was saying, is it the ego or is this like some ancestral spiritual connection, you know? But yeah, I'm gonna yield the mic. Art Cook, peace and love to you. Welcome to the panel, bro. You could hop in if you want. Peace and love.
Yeah, peace and love, bro. Shout out to everybody on the panel.
Y'all
I was
know who
just
that
listening
is
to
for
y'all.
real, don't y'all? That's Lamont. Y'all know who Lamont is.
You talking about
Lamont Sanford.
Lamont
Yeah.
Sanford? Hell no, I ain't got that
You
mustache.
is Desmond. You Desmond.
I ain't got that mustache, bro. I got a
I'm just
thin
fucking with
mustache.
you.
How
Had
you
to
doing,
bring
sir?
some comedy.
Hey, y'all going in, man. I like this, man. I just wanted to come up and show some support to King of High Self. Bro, I'll be listening to your videos. Me and my wife, I said, come here for a minute. You see what this dude doing? Like that yoga stuff you be doing, we start doing that. You know, just to have fun with each other. You know, cause she ain't know nothing about yoga. I ain't know nothing about yoga. But come to find out, it's real good for you, help relax you, you know, and it bring I hadn't tapped into the spiritual part, but as far as just doing the exercise, I know that part is good. So shout out to you, man. Keep doing what you're doing.
Much love, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad I can help you or benefit you in any way. That's the goal. You know, like I said, I think this is my perspective. I'm gonna tell you my perspective on what I think is like a goal that can help everybody is reaching the highest version of yourself and showing others how to do it their self, not the way you do it, not don't copy me type shit. Just be your highest self and influence each other to do the same. So that way we all, you know, are like trying to, you know, reaching God, our God body, for the lack of better words, that God potential, reach that, and then, you know, help each other do that. Just keep passing it on. Like that's how I see it should work, you know, because sometimes you get too lost in like unity and community and all that, and everybody ain't really healing themselves or trying to reach the highest potential of themselves. So it's like if we trying to build a community and everybody's not really working on themselves that way, then how can we even make this a success? Like we gotta first start on that. Like what's the things you want to accomplish? What's some of the demons you facing, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then when we get that information and we help each other with those issues or those blockages or whatever it may be, then we can like it'll naturally just elevate. That's it, because you're communicating and you're being a community by helping self with each other. So it's like helping self and each other at the same time. You know, that's just how I see it. It sounds easy, but I know it ain't that easy because, like I said, we're going to bump heads. We're going to have conflict. It's kind of natural. That's just the way it is. But you go ahead.
Look,
It is easy. Real quick, bro. You know, I gotta say this real quick, and I'm gonna be quick dropping. You get it. It is easy. Let me say this, brother. It just is uncomfortable and it's not usual. It's unusual. It's not that it's not easy. I hate to say that, but it's just that people think it's hard. Let's say it's not hard instead of saying it's not easy because it's really not hard. It's just not comfortable for people to do because we're so used to doing the opposite. I just want to say that. Go ahead, drop.
Okay.
No, they left. I think they were saying Oh yeah. Just came to me. This is a new game we can play. Hey, Cook, do this with your wife. I'm about to bring it to my girl here in a second. You all right? You gonna sit Indian style on the floor, right in front of each other with the chakra pose. Right. Every 10 seconds, one of y'all say the word that the other person was thinking about. This is called telepathy. This is called telepathy exercising. Another 10 seconds go by. She say a word. See if she could think of what you was thinking about. The shit will sink in. Next thing you know, she'll say your daughter's name. You will be thinking about your daughter. Next thing you know, you would say pump tens. She'll be thinking about a gas station. It can be the most random thing. But I guarantee you, if we play this game, it's gonna lock the energy together. I think that's what they were saying, but go ahead.
If somebody can say something, I want to say something real quick. I don't want to keep jumping in, but if somebody wants to say something, please go.
No, go ahead. You got it.
On what you just said, Drop, that you're so right, and that's the connection, right? You know how twins have the ability to, like, they'll say they can read each other's minds, and they be knowing what each other thinking. Sometimes they can even feel what the other person has felt. Like one might hurt themselves and the other one to feel the pain, and they don't know why they hurt or something. They not together or whatever. This is literally because of the connection that they developed in the womb. So they've been doing that and they've grown. It's not just because, oh, they're twins, so this and that. That's not the only reason. Yes, they have the matching the maternal twins. What do you got? Paternal, maternal, whatever. The identical. I couldn't get it right. The identical twins, the ones that are in the sac together. So they're sharing the sac. So they are in the same fluids. They have experienced everything the exact same. They heard the same sounds. They had the same foods, the same nutrients. So everything is developed the exact total same. So at the same time, they're developing that womb. They have the same consciousness because it's a consciousness that's within that ether of the mother's womb. So they have that natural telepathic ability. So when they come out, they still are used to that and it's there. So when you just said that about when you're connecting, this is the same way we connect with people. That's why I said it's not hard. It's not that easy, but it's not hard. So, when you're in that contact or what have you, that's what's going on. I gotta take this call, y'all. I'll jump back on though, bro.
Okay. No, that was fire. That was fire what she was saying though. Um, I yeah, I agree. I think the uncomfortability is the problem. Like it's uncomfortable to basically, like that self control and working on yourself. That's not really easy, or not really easy, but not really comfortable. That's why it's not easy. I should say it's because the uncomfortability. Like people don't like the comfortability. So I agree with what Sister Soul is saying. You know. So yeah, but yeah, go ahead. What else y'all got? Y'all got anything else in your mind? I don't want to hog the mic, but if
So
not,
yeah, the game gonna be called telepathy. And matter of fact, this shit about to go viral. It's gonna be like telepathy classes after I'm done with this shit.
telepathy. You gonna read my mind, or you gonna be able to communicate with me through my mind without talking.
I can do that already. I can do that shit already, but I'm
I
talking
think
about channeling in on actual words about to be said and channeling in on, how twins talk at the same time. That's all the way in sync. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like they in sync with it. They can, what they say, women got an intuition, take intuition times 3 million
mm,
with one person. You wouldn't be able to use telepathy on just anybody if they ain't in that realm, or they're not in that focused realm. But hell yeah, man, you can fucking have matching dreams, all kind of shit. Travel the same locations and shit without moving. But what Copper Tone say? Imagine, you know what I'm saying? That they took our imagination away when we was kids. That was a superpower. They took that shit away with the fucking toothpaste off top. They took that shit away with the goat milk. They took that shit away with putting your damn baby in a crib, looking up at the thing spinning around and around. Did you know the most deaths by kids is cradle birth, or what's it called? What's it called when cradle death? What is it called?
Crib death.
Crib death. SIDS. Yeah. That's insane. They even make that shit look like a fucking cave or a coffin. That motherfucker out that damn bassinet and don't roll over on me. Fucking lazy ass. Just throw the kid in the goddamn playpen. Oh man, that was funny, dog. But that's some real shit. Man, when I had kids, man, they all had to play pen, throw some balls and shit in that motherfucker. It's safe. You safe. You ain't just crawling around and shit. But now that I look back on it, I know that our kids was looking at us like, you just gonna put me in the box, huh? Some type of fucking kennel.
That is some funny shit.
That's fucked up. I would apologize to him too, man.
Oh shit, that is funny. Peace, Alexis Kenzie. Much love, goddess.
Peace and love, sis.
Peace and love, sis. No, I just came up. Y'all are truly having a fire conversation, so I wanted to jump up on here to, be a part of it. So thank you.
Much love. Yeah, man. Just carrying that energy from Sister Alma channel over here. That energy, you gotta transfer the energy. That's what I did. And we honestly, I talked to you, Alexis, Kenzie, and Chrissy. We done had a few conversations about just like making these kind of topics. Like we gotta kind of bully our way into like healing topics. Like yeah, with the information's cool and all, but like goddamn, like niggas is going through real life situations. Like can we talk about that too? Because shit, that's real life. Like the information's cool and all, but damn, niggas be stressed and depressed and, and unhappy and mad and all kind of shit be going on. So like just having these conversations is beautiful lately, and it's good because I'm even hearing some of the brothers, some of the guys even realizing like yeah, we do need to slow down on this. Because after a while it get tiring, like arguing and shit. That shit is tiring. That's the main thing about it. I can't do it. Even if I'm just listening to y'all argue, I'll be like,
right. Get like an instant headache and shit. Like
makes me want to argue.
So it's like we just switch it up a little bit. We can get on the information and it's still information for real. This ain't like it's not information. We always dropping gems. It's just a little.
Yeah, mental health is definitely the information our people need.
Right, big facts for real. Niggas got PTSD.
They don't know it or not. Exactly. Yes. But yeah, PTSD alone, yes. Like we need to know more about that in the community and things. I think we know about it, but like actually know about it, how to cope with it and things like that, and who to go to talk to about it.
Right. That's big facts.
Because it can lead to, addiction and everything else. So, a lot of times that's where the self, when they say like in AA or NA, things like that, like self-healing, like you turn to the drugs and the alcohol and sex and things like that. So you don't have to, so you're in this numb world, of indoctrination and everything. I guess I look at it. And as well, like you don't want to you have to start with self, like Chrissy always says. So if you can't help yourself or even want to help yourself, then what, why would we even try at this point, But y'all are having a fire conversation. So
You know what? Now that you said that, Alexis, I ain't gonna lie. Since I've been stressing that to y'all, I feel like a lot of shit has changed. Like,
Tell them.
you know what I'm saying? Like, for real, man. Like, I know, like, OG, you had your little, they got into it, what, on your little build the other night or whatever. But still, though, you still had a fire build and shit. Like, I just feel like, man, there's a lot of changes going on and shit, man. I'm seeing people quieting down a little bit. We ain't fussing and fighting on bills as much anymore. Like, man, in the last couple of weeks, shit has like really been changing.
Yeah. That's the power of, like I said, you gotta think. I'm gonna be real. I remember it was a select few of us that was like, "Yo, this is like," we kind
out
of
of control. It
yeah,
was
like
like
we in
out
the
of
chat
control at
talking
one
shit,
point. Remember a few weeks ago?
So we kind of put it out there like, "Yo, we not happy with this. Like, this ain't cool, y'all. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying?" And it wasn't just the goddesses. Like when I started hopping in, Ricky Young, Balance Truths, Greedy Vegan would go live and talk a little shit. Like it was like, okay, hold up.
Right.
There's a few people that's kind of like, yo, this is some fuck shit. Let's, we gotta control this because it matters. It matters. Like I said, we all smart, and I love hearing, man. I love hearing people spit their truth, and man, I'm addicted to that. Like, I want to hear some smart shit come from your mind. Like, what you got? What kind of gym you got? Like, that's cool and all, but if you ain't working on yourself or you got some issues that you need to cope with, let's talk about that first. You know what I mean? So
I swear y'all gonna think this is funny, but if I had my own YouTube channel, my intro song would be "Bitch Get Your Mind Right" by Jay-Z.
no.
The truth sometimes, though. You might have to mic drop that every once in a while. People get back to that steak, girl. Be like, but no, I don't know if it was the season, coming to or us supposedly at the end of a year or what, but that energy was not right, But I agree. I have seen it calm down, and people on the panels really I say like working together more, and it's not just to get up there to fight. Like sometimes I think people, at one point we're just like, okay, what's going on? Like why are we picking fights with each other? So, but it could have been something in the air or how the stars were as well. So who knows?
Yeah, I guess Mercury was in retrograde too, but still though, man, like that shit was a little bit too much. I don't even know what was going on.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers was calling me and texting me right and left. I'm like, I don't know, y'all. I really don't like get yourself together. I don't know.
Chris, like, you got that to cut a check for all this help. You better put a doctor in front of my name, okay? So
yeah, man. Like I said, I think we collectively, the ones that spoke up, we shifted the energy. And I'm kind of we just got to keep it up, I think, and balance it out. Like I said, we can get back to the information and stuff like that's kind of outside of self, for lack of better words. But don't forget about self. Like we gotta talk about that too, But yeah, we can switch topic. We can talk about whatever. Any questions, man? I'm kind of not tired, but I ain't got no specific topic. We could talk about whatever though.
I got a question about energy.
Go ahead.
We all got our own type of energy. Like I could say I have a masculine energy. I could say my wife has a physical energy. I could say that we all have a certain type of energy. But then the question comes up. Somebody says something about what is it? PTSD. I think that's what it is. PSTD. I don't know what it is, but when you have a child, yeah, PTSD. When you have a child that has another type of energy, can we control that? Like if I don't have PTSD, my wife don't have PTSD, but we have a child that has it. How is it that our energy would produce a child with an entire different type of energy? Would we have had something to do with that? Or is it something that's out there that ain't got nothing that we don't have control at all over?
Cook, I don't want to interrupt you, but PTSD, PTSD is
I'm sorry.
never mind. You're right. Go ahead. You good.
No, I'm just saying because he said somebody mentioned it. I mentioned it, and I want to respond to that. And did he have an injury? I want to ask a question to it, not respond to it. Did he have an injury, bro?
No. I was just asking about the energies because I know that every individual has a certain type of energy. Every it's like what you be saying, Sister Soul, about the waveform. Each individual has a certain type of energy. So if the male has a certain type of energy and the female has a certain type of energy, but they produce a child that has a whole different type of energy, would the parents have something to do with that, or would it be an unknown factor?
But that's not PTSD, bro. Just to clarify, PTSD is caused from an injury, a head injury.
Oh, okay. Well, I just use PTSD as an example.
Or trauma. Or trauma.
Yeah, I just use it. I just use that. I just use that as an example. Let's say it's not PTSD. Let's say it's because they'll put titles on the symptom. If a child acting like this, they'll say it's PTSD.
You talking about like ADD? You talking about like
they'll say it's
ADD and stuff like that? Yeah.
Or they'll say that the child is retarded.
PTSD, but wait, cook. Wait, just so you be clear on what the PTSD is, bro. That's totally different. That's post-traumatic stress syndrome. It comes from post-traumatic stress. It had to be a traumatic stress on the individual to cause that. That's why I was saying, did your son have an injury, any type of injury that would have caused that? Because you conflicting that with his personality. That doesn't have anything to do with him having a post-traumatic stress. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to
I think what he's conflicting it with is like ADD and like stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like where these people tell you your kids are hyperactive and kind of like stuff like that.
Things like that.
Right. Yeah. But PTSD comes from, like Sister Soul said, from traumatic stress, like trauma. Like she said, she got a head injury, or like OG was over in the wars and seen some shit that just, you know what I'm saying, he couldn't wrap his mind around and shit. That's PTSD.
Yeah, like a car accident. Sometimes that fuck people up. They don't like driving and they be having anxiety attacks. That's more, like something happened to them. Something has to usually happen to somebody to have PTSD or could.
No, what I'm saying, I was just using all of that as an analogy. What I was saying is one person has a certain type of energy, the man. One person has a certain type of energy, the female. They make a child that is completely opposite of both of them.
Well, can I say something? Like that's just probably who they are. You know what I'm saying? That's who they came in as. Like, we're like you and your wife don't have the same energy. You know what I'm saying? So why would you think your child would come in with the same energy? We're all born different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's my point right there. Do we have anything to do with that? Is it some Is it
No,
some other
no, you
outside
didn't.
force?
No, you didn't have
Oh
nothing to do with
no.
that at
So
all.
is
It's
there
just,
so is there an outside force that's
it's
got
who they
something to do with
are.
that? Right.
No,
So
it's just who
what
they are. It's
what
Yeah,
just who they
what
are.
Yeah,
makes that
they
though?
let
keep
me. Yeah,
Where that
I
come
hear
from?
what you're
they
saying.
Nothing
keep
makes
it
that.
basic.
Well, it's got to
I,
be
They, they,
something.
they
Hold,
cook to
hold
keep
on.
it
Let's drop
basic.
it.
They cook to keep it basic. No, energy don't mix. Energy is its own thing. Sort of like a orb. It's like this. If that orb don't enter that baby, you will have a stillborn baby. If that spark of life is who that person is, and when that person passes away, that spark of life go back to the ether and stays together. And that same spark of life either gonna come back here or go to the next round, whichever way it's going.
What's the
But
spark
it's
of life? What's the
the
spark of
spark of
life?
life is the thing that move your bones.
Ooh, they got a scientific video on that, like exactly when the sperm meets the egg. It is literally a spark of energy.
Yes,
And they have a
yes, I
scientific
see that.
video showing that shit,
Yeah,
Yes,
man.
now
I
we on
agree
now
with
we
that.
talking about what I'm talking about. Where
I
does that come
literally
from?
listen. I literally just did a freaking live on this. That shit crazy. Y'all talking about that? I literally did a live on it and talking about that because basically the sperm is like a memory stick. There's a certain energy that is in it in electrodes and the electric energy when it hits and it forms that life with what's going on with the egg. That is that spark that initiates the spark and then that life becomes into the effect. That's the energy that you're talking about, um, Cook. The two coming together though, the energy of the sperm and the energy of the egg, when those two meet, that is a separate energy. But that energy is what allows the portal of that orb to actually come into that womb and to actually initiate that life. You understand what I'm saying? It's like it's more like a settling point. It's like, oh, I see that light there. Let me go there. And I'm just using this as a reference. I see that light. Let me go there. And I'm gonna just land over there. So then that energy goes there. It gets that spark, and then there's that life that is created from there. The physical form and what you're talking about, I think. Let me just try to say this the best way I can. Is when that physical is the mom and the dad because it's in the physical form, right? So now that spark of energy is formed within that woman. So the initiation, which was that sperm, some of those energies that have come from that sperm and the energies from the mom, they're blending or they're fusing together. So there's that maternal and the paternal. So there's going to be the genes from both parents, right? And then now that being has come into, and then now there's the physical being. So there's the spirit. There's a spirit that's within that being that came into life when that spark initiated, but that spirit is in the placement of these two, like the outer shell, which is the mom and the dad, all the DNA,
Mm.
the physical components, the matter, all of that stuff. So it's really the soul of that being that is only being used because this vessel has allowed a placement for it to come and actually, transport, walk through this 3D realm and be a part of all this stuff, this, and that, just the experience that it's having. So the vessel is the mom and the dad just being used per se. Let's just say that. Because you know how we think that oh, my kid, my kid, my kid. Yes, it's our kid. We can't help it because we nurture it and this and that in the physical here in this realm. But in all actuality, it's not really our child. It's just another energy that is used within this vessel that I delivered it from, that me and my mate made this spark of life be able to enter into this realm and be able to experience what's going on here in the physical. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that makes
Mhm.
sense to you, but
Yeah.
that's
No,
the way I
no,
see it. Not to say I'm
It
perfect,
makes
sister
but
soul,
perfect
that's the way I
sense.
see it.
Creepy.
sister soul. I was gonna say the same thing for real. Like we're all here having a human experience. You know what I'm saying? So each person's gonna be different, and their experiences are gonna be different. So it does, like you religion, non-religion. It doesn't matter at that point because we're all just here having an experience. Whether a God put us here, sort we created this and put ourselves here, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So
You,
everybody is gonna be different. We was talking about this on Greedy's
it,
panel. Remember, King Your Highest Self with
yeah.
souls, and how you
Yeah.
was talking about how souls how souls are kind of like, I forget how you said it, but the shit was deep.
I don't remember. Sometimes I don't be remembering the shit I say. I just be in the flow of letting it out. But this remind me what we was talking about on JJ's channel when he was showing them pictures of like basically the forms of masculine and feminine energy. Like even now we're still in between that, which would be that sun and moon aspect. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still in between that, them lights that allow us to have our light on this plane, on this realm. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all saying is deep. Yeah, that soul, the souls are just the bodies, like Sister Soul said, the bodies of the mother and the father is just the vessels to bring the light into another being here on this plane. I guess it's not really the mama, like yeah, we take on the title mama and dad, but really you're just the one that's chosen to bring this light into the realm. So it's a unique thing though, because that's what makes it unique, is that you're the chosen ones to bring this light in, but that's really what it is as well. Just y'all the ones to bring this existence here. That's an individual on its own. And sometimes we get lost in that as like, oh, this is my child, but that's still its own person, own spirit, own soul, own vibration. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where they was going with it, Arcook. Like that's still its own person, even though it's mama and daddy.
Yes, that's everything y'all just said. That's my whole point. You just really brought it all. What you just did is you just put it all in a nutshell and made it real. What you just did is you made it real easy to understand. So I thank you for that. I thank you for putting it in a way to where you formulated your words, you added it all up to what Sister Soul was saying and to what Chrissy was saying. It all added up. Thank you for that. But here's the question. Do we have anything to do with that individual that we came together and made? Like, what part do we play, or is it an unknown, like a question mark?
No, it play a big part all the way down through your lineage. This is why we get smarter as the millenniums go on. Like, you can have a son, right? Meet your son after he's 21, and you will find y'all like the same thing. Y'all handwriting kind of similar. Y'all the same way. You know what I mean? So once they come together, but then you gotta understand, it keeps multiplying. What do you to say we baby kids, we don't die, we multiply? That means now you're looking at a spider window now. All right, boom. Now after your kid go have a baby with somebody else, their whole thing goes off into an octagon type shape. All the way back from how you got here. That's why nobody can be the same person. They can just be parts of everything that ran through their bloodline. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Your mom and dad made you, but 4 people made them 2. Then you got another 8 people that made them 4. And that goes on for damn near infinity to make you. And all that done went in to the half side of the chromosome of your daughter. Your wife, the same way, all the way back. Half of that went into that. Now, boom, all that's going to come together. When she make, the branch breaks again and spreads out just like a tree. That's why they call it a family tree and deep rooted. But go ahead.
No, I agree with a lot what you're saying, so drop. I read this book one time where like this I don't know, it was this guy and he like never met his dad, but then it was like a research type of book as well. So like when either way, they had a lot of the same interests, things, they had the same career path. It was like really weird. So I feel like even if you were adopted or something, there's gonna be some things that is just in your genes, like you're getting from your ancestors.
Your whole body is from all their ancestors. You wouldn't have any type of body structure if it didn't come from those genes. So we have to have that within us. It's just natural. And those are all those cells that have come down through the mom's side, the dad's side, the mom's side, the dad's side. Like you said, it's just coming down, down, down the line. So the more each individual comes, and it's a vice of each person into like a squeeze. You know how vice grip squeeze and stuff. It's like it's all these different things being squeezed into this one person. As it drips down, it's just condensed, more condensed because it's like so many different people that have come down through this person and into this person, and all these genes and all these stem cells and all these things are within this one individual, and this one individual can tap into any of that at any time because all these different codes is just like opening up a code on a computer. You know, when you tap into certain things, you can tap into something from this side or that side. So these are things that we have in the remembrance of our cells. It's our cells that has the memory, our actual physical cells. So the cells are going to remember the things that come from all the ancestors as well. So even like you said, the mannerism of like a dad or something, even if you're not around that dad, that kid may still act totally just like that same person because it's totally in their DNA, and they just picked up that frequency from their dad, and now they're just, they're using those genes, and that's what they're presenting. It's just a matter of the matter of the ether, what part of that is connecting and what they're actually, being magnetized toward and being able to access within them, whatever. So it's
So,
all
you
physical,
can be a kind of like you got
scientific.
different types of vessels, right? You got different type of vessels. Like my vessel, everything like lived through me. You know how like somebody passed away, you can say you can live through me. When my but you got to be like immediate blood for it to work. Like when my dad passed away, I grew a beard. I never had a beard. He passed away when I was like fucking 37 or something. And I grew a beard in. You see what I'm saying? So it showed me that, damn, the motherfuckers can go into these angels and shit that pass away, your ancestors, they can go inside animals. And then you wondering why this fucking dog fuck with you so heavy. They can anything living, they can go into a plant. You'll just see the plant spark up for you. Sort of like the movie when the dude the thing kept jumping in and out of bodies, and at the end of the movie it jumped into the cat. I think it had dude from Roseanne in it. Roseanne's
So you talking about
husband.
Denzel Washington with what was that
Yeah,
movie? I
yeah. I
forgot.
ain't saying exactly like that, but that's the idea I'm trying to give you. When somebody say you got a living angel, that means your vessel that you carrying now absorbs these things, and you will hear dead people. You'll really hear that it's somebody you love. Like my dad will say, call your mom. And I can hear that shit, not through the physical ear, but through the thought. You know how you can still say what and hear what in your head without making a word. So you will hear like, but some people don't know they got it. So they'll say, man, something told me to call you. It wasn't something. You got to know what that something was. You know what I'm saying? And they work like that. It's deep as hell, but as far as the sperm and egg, like you said, that's perfect example. They open the portal for the soul, but the sperm and egg is nothing but the hands, fingers, lips, nose, hair on the body, all that. But if that spark don't go in there, you're gonna have a stillborn baby. If the spark say, no, we ain't mixing. I don't want to mix. The energy can actually say, I don't want to mix with you. Or the timing is off. Let's do it next, whatever they call it when they can have babies. And then in most people, like some people even try to have an abortion and then get pregnant 9 months later. Like it's a wheel, like it's forces that brought you to get pregnant, this, that, and the third. It's forces that made you trick half your goddamn check off to go over this goddamn girl's house. It wasn't you. You'd be like, what the fuck I do that? No, they was like, no, we coming through them two. They don't care if y'all stay together or not them energies. That's why I don't like people blaming their parents at the end of the day. Nope, they brought you here, make it motherfucking happen. Period. You choose yourself. You know what I mean?
So now the question that dawned upon me is for this question is for everybody, but Drop made me think of this, hearing what he was saying. Do you think there's like a spiritual time to be born that's like we can't calculate it in this physical realm, like that spark we talking about to enter that there's a timeline for that to be entered to reach this realm? Do you think there's a timeline, and like if you don't go into that light, like you have to wait to like a certain match of energies come to be in the physical realm? What do y'all think about something like that? If that makes sense, if my question.
Let me say this last thing, King, and I'm gonna mute up. Me and my sister was born on the exact same day, 7 years apart. So I think it got a lot to do with the vessel, a lot to do with the mind. Because if we 7 years apart, born on the same exact day by different dads, that shit is phenomenal to me.
Bro, I resonate because like, see, I'm born July 10th, so that's 7/10. My dad is born October 7th, that's 10/7, and we exactly 20 years apart, and we have the same name. So it's like shit like that, you know what I mean?
Oh, look at that! I'm glad you said that.
That's my birthday.
My
You know
daughter's
that's
birthday.
crazy.
It's crazy he said, I swear I'm about to do, it's crazy he said that because my daughter's birthday 11/4 and mine 4/11. That's crazy.
See?
Mine October 7th.
And
My
so
birthday
look,
is 10/7.
yeah, that's my dad's
Wow.
birthday, man. You okay?
Me and my uncle Butch, me and him is September 30th. And then my uncle Kenny and my uncle's sister, she was born 10 days before his birthday, but hers is the 21st of October and his is the 31st of October.
See, I think that's what I'm saying. Is there like certain time wheels that you think is like there's a reason behind that I don't think is even explainable. As much as I like know numbers and astrology and stuff, like that ain't gonna answer that kind of shit. Like, what is that? Because it's like you get to choose when you come. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna match this certain time spiritually, like on a number frequency or a placement.
Can I answer that? Well, not
Go ahead.
answer because I can't answer that factual, but I'll give my thought on that. I
Yeah, go
think
ahead.
I think it may be possible that there's a choosing, right? I think that because we are energy, and because we know or we think that we know where we should be or could be. Some people may end up in a place where they didn't want to be, maybe a life they didn't want or whatever. But I think that we see something and we choose to go to this particular place at that time. So when that doorway opens, when there's a window of opportunity to take place, and it's like, okay, let me take this life on now. I want to be in this place or that place. This what I think. I believe what happens is the doorway opens, and because we're this energy, we already know what's going on. We choose where we want to be. So, say, um, my child. Let me just use my child, my firstborn. So now I'm minding my business, going about my life. I'm not thinking, oh, I didn't have a planned pregnancy, so it's not like I was like, oh, let me just have this baby. So now I get pregnant with my daughter. She must have felt like, okay, I need to be born by this lady. Now, not necessarily that she chose me per se. She may have chose me because I mean my kids are phenomenal. I gotta say that. I love my babies. But they have great minds. But she may have chose me because she liked my mind. She may have said, I like this lady. I like the way she thinks. I like the way, the spirit or energy is not thinking like that, but you know what I'm saying. I'm just giving y'all an idea. So I want to be in this area. I want to be able to learn from this person. I want to grow because their ideas are something like mine. We kind of resonate in our spirits. So yeah, I think this is the type of person I want to be a part of. So now that spirit came and said, okay, I'm settled here. Now, it could have been that, or it may have been, okay, I need to be in this particular city. I need to be in this area because there's certain things that are going on because I need to be in this life because when this goes on, I need to be with this person so that can happen because we don't know what they perceive, what they see. We don't know what, what's going on. So there's a possibility that a life plants itself to be in a place because we have an intention. When we come here, we have an intention to do something. There's something we have to do. We all have a job and we don't all know what it is, but we all have a job. That's why we're here. So the plan to complete that job, the mission may have been failed because why? There are alterations. Once they get here, certain things have happened, the memories lost. They don't know why they came here, what plan they had when they came here, why they came to this person, why they want to be in this area. They may not remember those things. So now it's just the life of, what have you. So that's another thing I just feel. It's just it's a plan. I feel like it's definitely a plan that they want to be in this person for a reason. And when they see that when that portal open and they can get to that spot, it's like, why do I want to be here? It's something in my plan that makes me want to go to this person because it could be any person that it picked, but it picked this person. So it could be either because it wanted to be a part of that person, or it could be that it wanted to be in that area for something to happen later on, maybe 15 years down the line, because this person is going to have this lifestyle because they're in this job and they're going to be done moved here, and this person needs to be here at this time to deliver a word, or you know what I'm saying? It could be a multitude of things, but I just think all kind of weird stuff like that. If that sounds weird, but that's it.
But where does it come from, Sister Soul? Where does it
I
where
mean,
does
do we
it
have to?
where
Do
does
we
it
have
come
to?
from?
Is it like okay, Cook? Is it Do you want us to do semantics with words and stuff? Like, do you want us to say God or source or creator? I mean, like at the end of the day, they're just semantics of words. Like,
Well, if that was the
you
case,
know.
I would have just said that everything she just said was semantics, but I didn't say that. I heard her and I like what
But you
she
said
said.
where did it come from? Like,
No, that's what I said. I asked where it come from.
but
I
I'm
like
saying
what she
like
said.
like to me it would be source. You know what I'm saying? But you
What
would
is
probably say
source?
God. But
No,
you
I
would probably say God, you know?
no, don't nobody
Source,
know what
source,
I would
source.
say because didn't nobody ask me what I would say. I like what she just said. I enjoyed everything she said. I like what she just said. The only
All right, I
thing
got a
that I was
question.
asking was, like how she said that we can actually because this energy, I believe in energy. I believe in it. I got it. Everybody got it. You can see it's clearly known that we are energy. That's a fact that we energy. That I don't think that's a question. And I believe that energy could possibly manifest itself. It could possibly manifest itself because it's that powerful. I
Now
believe that.
they said women used to have babies without a
Yeah,
man. I
Yeah,
just
but
don't
hold
know.
on. I'm just saying what I'm saying. Everything that Sister Soul just said, the only reason why I asked is where it came from is because I wanted her to say, well, I don't know what I wanted to say, but the reason why I asked the question is because everything she just said, I believe that. I believe that we are that powerful. I believe that energy is that powerful that it can actually recreate itself. It's that powerful that it could choose negative or positive or neutral if there's a such thing. It can actually, whatever it is, it could choose it. If it's a positive, it could choose positive. If it's a negative, it could choose negative. If it's an in between, it could choose the in between. But the reason why I asked her what do she think it come from is I was trying to see like how does the energy begin? Like, where does the energy come from? Where
It
does
don't
the
come
energy start? Is it
from cook.
just like a spark?
It
You
but
know what I
cook.
mean?
It's the okay. Oh, please. The energy though is just the energy, bro. It doesn't come from
There.
anywhere. You're thinking in a sense of something else because you're thinking the energy when we're thinking about the energy as in a how can I say it? As a physical thing, maybe you're not thinking of it as physical, but you're seeing it in that way. Let me say that, brother. It's not
Right.
that it develops or it just conjures up or it just poof, it appeared. Poof. No, it's just there, brother. What happens is it decides to take an action. So it sparks. You know, it's energy is always there. It's just where that energy is directed, where it's used, how it's used. It's there. It's just where it chooses to be or be created at or used or surface at. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the best way I can say it, but that's the only thing I can think. Because I hear what you're saying. I'm trying to explain it the way I think you're asking. But I think that's the only way that I can explain it. Somebody else might be able to tap in on that, but I think
Hey,
it
I
just
know it perfectly. Here's exactly how you explain it. I don't know where that shit come from. I'm always believing
Right.
that there's no beginning or no ending. It always was. So is it
Right.
coming from a source? I don't know. But I do know it's something that takes over a body and make it move, or it's a stillborn. That's all I know. Fuck it. But I
Right.
wanted to ask y'all this right quick. Any one of y'all can pick this up. Can two evil people have a good baby, and can two great people have an evil baby?
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it
Um,
was possible.
But they say the apple don't fall far from the tree. So if my mom is the biggest heart in the world and my dad got the biggest heart in the world, is it possible for me to be heartless?
Yeah.
oh
yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because you could have chose to been that when you came here.
It kind of go back to what Sister Soul and Chrissy was building on, like how you still your own vibration, you still your own person. No matter who your mom and dad is, like yeah, they have an influence on your DNA. Yeah, they have an influence on a mannerism, um, a lot of things. You know, it does matter in that term, but like you still your own individual. You
Let's say
still
you
have
living
your
out.
own choice. Like two twins ain't the same. Like you can have a twin and one of them be off the motherfucking rack, and one of them might be what we would call an angel compared to his sibling. You know what I mean? So it's not always about like the energy you come from or the timing. Is just like everyone's still their own individual at the end of the day. That's
It's
how I
like you
feel.
got that it's like you got that teenager, right? That you know, try to make do everything right your way. And all they do is rebel against you because they got their own mind and they don't want to be controlled by you.
Oh, I
Does that
know
make sense, y'all?
firsthand. And shit, like I done told my kids stuff one ear and out the other. Somebody else tell them the same thing, and they repeat it back to me, and I'll be like, "Man, I just told you that." And it's just like, nah, they might have to hear it from somewhere else. You know what I mean?
But it don't be that necessarily drop just so you don't feel no way, bro. Because I know that probably make you feel away. But let me just say this: that could be with anybody, bro. It don't have to be because oh, dad saying it. I didn't hear the shit. There have been people. I had a friend, right? I'm gonna use this as an example. I used to talk to her about something she used to go through all the time, over and over and over and over again. I told her probably the ninth or tenth time that I could have probably recorded the shit and just played it every time this situation came up. That's how bad it was, bro. Real talk. So one time I was talking to her and I'm telling her the same thing. Like I say, here we go. You know, in my mind, I'm like, here this shit go. I gotta keep telling this girl the same shit over and over. She just don't get it. So when I told her this time, she looked at me She was like, wow, sis. She was like, oh my gosh. And then she sat there for a second and she looked at me. She said, you know what? I was like, what? She was like, you done said this to me so many times. She said, I heard you, but I really never got it. She said, I cannot believe I really get it this time. And how many times you told me that. When she said that, it was crazy that she understood it, that damn, I done heard this shit so many times. Why am I just getting this? And she recognized that she heard it so many times that it was so familiar to her still. But wow, this time I finally got it. So that's crazy, that people sometimes they can't click in their mind with certain things. And sometimes it might be the time or the pressure that their mind is under with other things. And with that mind bending of trying to come in and you trying to ease in there to give them a thought or implant something in their mind, they just can't get it, bro. So don't take it as your kids weren't listening to you and damn, they heard that shit from them because I heard that in your voice. It ain't that, brother. It's the individual. Sometimes they can't hear something, no matter how many times, and it just take that one day. Maybe it's something else that's going on that something else may have clued this in, and boom, now they got it. It's just a certain energy. It's the same thing, bro. Keep that in mind. I just want to say that. I didn't want to go off topic.
Yeah, grab the mic. See, cool, because I'm about to grab the mic. Now, this time when I grab the mic, this shit about to take 34 minutes. Y'all mute up. Everybody.
Your ass is silly.
Oh my God. This shit is funny. Man, I be having a time in my life. I ain't gonna even front, man. Y'all go ahead.
No, man, y'all spitting fire. You know, I think just sometimes we just gotta count when we count individuality, you just gotta remember that they own they have their own vibration. You know what I mean? Like especially it depends on what time you give birth, like as far as how old you was. I think that matters. There's like a lot of factors that play into the differences between parents and children and things like that. Because like my parents had me young, they was in there, they was teens. You know what I mean? So I relate to a lot of the. I can relate to like a lot of the stuff they talk about more just because I kind of was with them as they was growing. Because in their 20s they was able to experience life and have to learn, and I was there witnessing it. But like if you have children when you're older, it's gonna be that alone has its own effect on individuality and the differences a child may go through that you may not relate to, or what you think is bad they may not think is bad because of the times it is. It's a lot of little factors that you gotta like consider when it comes to stuff like that. That's how I see it. We can't kind of you gotta count everything, put it all into perspective. So yeah, that's my thought on
Yeah,
that.
I noticed a lot of parents when I was raising my kids, they was more treating their kids like it was property, like they were robots, like do this, right now. All right, cool. You taught them how to do everything. See if they'll do it on their own now. Because you're not going to be there all the time to tell them exactly what to do. And what ends up happening when they branch away from you, they listen to somebody else telling them exactly what to do. Because all they know is their motor skills as a robot. It's no, you was so much of a drill sergeant. you never mind. Go ahead.
Oh, you right on that, bro. Because you know what? My mom was like that. She raised us like that, and that's how I was with my kids. Now it was different with my grandmother. My grandmother was like, man, you be talking, you say some flip stuff, or what she considered flip. Let me correct. And she might be done slapped you in the mouth with a wet dish rag or something. That's like she didn't play. She was not with it. She didn't play with no kids, and no kids better not play with her. So when it came to that type of stuff, she would be like, my brother, he was what she would consider mannish. Cause my mom, she allowed us to speak our mind. And my grandmother, she wasn't with it. So where my brother she might say, oh, go to the store or something for me, go down to the store. Oh, I don't feel like it. My grandmother looking like, you don't feel like it. She about ready to knock your head off your shoulder. But it's the individuality with your kids they need to have, like you just said, Drop. That's so important. It keeps them from being so tied into following, or let me say, orders or rules of people, not having an individual mindset, having their
Right.
individual mind and being able to think for themselves, being able to rationalize situations. Even with like things that go on with our kids. I don't know if this is off subject, but I just thought about this. I can remember times like say a teacher or something might call, oh, your kid this or whatever. So I'm like, okay, well, let me see what's going on with my kid first. So I talk to my kid, I hear the situation. Okay, I don't know if they thinking like I'm gonna back what they saying just because they're an adult. And after my child just explain, oh, this happened, or that happened, and that's reasonable to me. So whether they upset or not about it, I'm gonna back my child if they right. Because they know to tell me the truth. So I'm not gonna worry about this and that because they know how to make decisions and they also know about consequences. So even if they wrong in the situation, they'll tell me, well, I did this, and that, mine, because they made me mad, or that they'll tell me. So now they got to face those consequences. But it has to be up to the person to know how to make those type of decisions. And as a kid, they still need to make those decisions. And growing up that way, they have the exercise, and they've had these
Mhm.
opportunities to learn to do these things and develop these skills that they're going to need to deal with people. What if you're not there one day? God forbid something happen and they're in the hands or living with somebody else, family member or somebody else, a foster care, God forbid. But anything could happen where your child needs to be able to make proper decisions. You need to talk to them about certain things at certain ages. People be thinking, oh, they're too young. Kids smarter than you think. You
Facts.
need to make sure your kids have the right mindset in the right mind state at a certain age. I
Man,
don't know.
it'd be the little ones that honestly you need to talk to, like the toddlers, 3-year-old, 4-year-old. Shit. They the ones because they observing everything. That's man, as soon as they able to walk and talk a little bit, oh man, that's when you need to, be dropping as much gems as you can because that's when they're creating their habits. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That is their individuality years. Because once they start interacting with other kids and then all these forms of thought start being taught to them and things like that, they got to know how to like keep that individuality because that's what kind of that's the society, the way it's orchestrated from schools to religion to whatever. That's what it does. It takes away that individuality. You know what I mean? It's like an order, like you were saying. Follow this and follow that, or believe in this and believe in that. And you get, the child lose their individuality in a lot of ways.
Yes, not able to even think
Um,
or use their imagination in their mind to develop the skills or whatever it is that they have in them to, make use of themselves. That stuff be diminished and just knocked down and tore down because they follow somebody else's rules, somebody else's the way they think they should be doing, the way they think they should be acting, or all this kind of
Mhm.
nonsense. They can't even tap into be comfortable. They're supposed to be comfortable, but they can't even be comfortable and get tapped into the things that they enjoy or, what they like because they strapped down with school and this, and that. I'm a firm believer of the homeschooling, having your child at home, teaching them yourself instead of having them tied
Yeah.
down with these people restricted and making them act like they're getting ready for the jail cell because that's not what's going to happen with my child. We need to make sure that these kids are exploring in their mind, doing what they need to do. They can't even expound upon their gifts because a gift is demise. They in art class. Oh, well, you got to leave. It's time to go to the next class. Hey, I want to draw. That's all they want to do all day long. Draw. The best artist could be the next famous artist in the world, but here they is diminished now because somebody want to strict them to tell them about some historical records that shit half of is a lie. So they teaching them stories and you know what I'm saying, stuff they're not even gonna use in their everyday life most of the time. Not to say nothing about school. But I'm just saying there's a lot of things that our kids don't even get to develop when they're constricted, because they're constrictions put on kids when they're in these different programs and stuff. That's why I think it's good to homeschool. They need to expand their mind. They need to explore, enjoy their gifts and stuff like that, man. We missing a lot in our world because our kids and even us at our age, lots of us had gifts and stuff we didn't get to expound upon. Who's to say what we could have touched in this world or this life in something that we
Right.
had that was a gift within us, but here it was restricted. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy.
Cause
Can I get in? Can I get in real quick? Cause I don't want Cook to think I was coming off crazy at him or nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just what I was trying to explain is like you can't put a word on it. Like to answer your question, I was just trying to explain you can't put a word on it. Like we can use God, source, creator, spirit, you know, whatever words we want to use to humanize it to us. You know what I'm saying? But there's really no word to put on what it is, when it started, when it will end. You know what I'm saying? So
mm-hmm.
I just didn't want you to think I was coming crazy at you and you know.
No. I didn't think that because I believe that. I
Okay.
think that. I think that we use words just to communicate. I think that that's why we use words. We just simply use words to communicate. Like if I'm really feeling a certain kind of way, it may not be a word to describe how I'm feeling. I could say hate or I could say mad, but those words may not hold what I'm really feeling. But I use them just to communicate to you some idea of how I may be feeling. So I get that. I understand it. But what I want to ask Sister Soul is when you homeschool your child, if you doing it, like let's say, because I did the same thing. My wife and I, we homeschool all three of our children before we let them go. But weren't we kind of putting them in some sort of prison by just being
Yeah.
her and myself?
Well, what do you mean? A prison by keeping your children in a safe environment and away from like the outside world. They have family members and things. It's not like you were, isolated. It's not like y'all were the only world, or you did other things, took your kids out and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So if that's what you mean, is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is with the information, like we taught them how to read, write,
Hmm.
you know, basic human skills. But we taught them in our home, and then we let them. We took them out to public schools, and when they came home, some of the first thing they was asking us is, "Hey, mommy and daddy, well, they taught us that MLK was this, and they said that this." They hit us with a barrage of questioning. Now, I did the same thing. My wife and I, we homeschool all three of our children. But what I'm saying is, I wonder maybe if we had taught them what we wanted to teach them at an early age and then sent them off, because either way it go, they were gonna be exposed. Either way it go, we couldn't keep
Hmm.
them in our house forever. We gotta let them
Forever.
out. We gotta let them out. But I was thinking, and we had this conversation. My wife and I had this conversation not too long ago. What if we had just said, okay, from the time that they were born until like maybe 7 years old, we're gonna let them go. Or from the time that they were born to maybe 5 years old, we're gonna let them go. We kept our kids in the house till they were 10 years old, and then we let them go. Now I think that they turned out all right, but I'm thinking maybe if we had to let them go a little earlier, they wouldn't have had all these barrage of questioning that they had when they came back. Or maybe they would have. I'm just asking the question. That's all.
Well, I don't know. I don't think that has anything to do with it. As far as the questioning, I mean, you could answer, you could talk to your kids about what was going on in the outside world, but give them your perspective, letting them know, what's going on. This is what's going on in the world. When, I know y'all in here now, but when you go out there, these are the type of things that are going on, and I want to protect you from these things because of blah blah blah, and da da da. Not giving them a whole full view of the world as a young child, but enough for them to get an understanding as to why you want to protect them. I'm also giving you an environment where you can grow. What do you like to do? What are you doing? When you're at home with your kid, it gives you the opportunity to explore with them. You see their talents, even if they don't know their talent. You might see one of them is drawing, and then they drawing a picture better than you can draw it. You know what I'm saying? You see one doing something, maybe building something, or you know what I'm saying? So you're able to see the talents of the kids and you can help them. Oh, I see this one's drawing. Okay, I'll buy more stuff for coloring or this, and that, so they can start expanding on their colors. This one's like doing this, I'll buy the things for this. You know what I'm saying? These are the things you can focus on or pay attention to when it comes to them, giving them their individual attention that they deserve versus being in the classroom with somebody that's got them just doing things that, just by some time clock. They're doing this a certain time. They just following these rules like in a jail cell. That's I don't think that's good for kids. They need to be able to be free. They're free. They are free energy. They need to be able to be free in their mind, their body, and their spirit as long as they can until they have to be able to learn to deal with, the world and the things in it as far as being a part of when they're like, preteens, teenagers, associating, going with little friends and stuff, knowing how to behave, then it's different. But before that, they need to be learning the right things so that they are in the mind frame. So when they do go out, they're in the right mind frame and they're making the right decisions and this, and that. You don't got to worry about what they're doing or, oh, I want my kid ain't being influenced by nobody or this, and that, and da, da, da. My kids was like, shoot, I remember my son was like 16. He was like, yeah, mom, we having a conversation. He was telling me how all his homeboys were smoking and, I don't really want to smoke, because I think it's distractive. I did try it, mom, but, it ain't for me, da, da. My kids talk to me about everything because I want to know.
Look,
Sure that they did that.
and
You know what I'm saying? So when you don't have that open or that freedom with their child for them to be able to expand and explore you, they're not going to come to you with very serious things either. People be thinking, oh, you can't have a friendship with your child. You can be friendly with your child. You don't have to have a friendship, but you can definitely be friendly with your child where they're comfortable to come to you and you're able to really see things in them and draw it out because they may not even know certain things about themselves and you can help them too. Go ahead, Drop. I'm sorry.
oh no, I was saying only thing that hinders is this, like when you shield them and they're not growing up with the people that they're actually going to be dealing with. They probably growing up amongst everything they love and everything that's on a higher echelon than the people they're going to be dealing with in the world. If they never rub elbows with wrong, they won't know what wrong is. So when they get in the real world, they can make good decisions on good things, but they never had to make a decision on bad things. So now they know it's bad, but now the devil a motherfucker, temptation a motherfucker. So now you done say you done shielded your daughter, right? She finally get outside, get horny. Next thing you know, 10 people done had sex with her within 4 days. And you like, what? It's sort of like you got the dog on a chain, you got it on a chain, you let it off and then take off running. And if you leave it on the chain too long, you take it off, it don't go nowhere. It just sits there and look at you because you done broke it. You want them to be able to know what's good, what's bad, while you shelter them so they can fly themselves. So from to 7 years old, you want to be hands on, who your friends, all that. Where that's from 7 to 14. You kind of want to see how they using the skills you gave them. Correct them here, correct them there, influence them to get a job or whatnot. Cool. If they don't, like my peoples used to tell my mom, she used to worry like he ain't called, and he'd tell her, if he called, that means something wrong. It's when he ain't called, I know he's taking care of himself. See, and that's because I'm gonna mute the mic. Here's a trick y'all can do if y'all got kids. Everywhere you go, ask your kid, do you know where you at? Tell me where I need to turn to get home. and make them notice things. These things, it becomes handy in real life, just knowing how to navigate. If you got a little 7-year-old, 8-year-old, 9, if they never caught the bus, take them down to the transit center, give them some bus money, and say, find your way home. I don't know what bus to catch. Go ask somebody. Make them find their way home. These are skills that you can do when they get in a real life situations. Make your kid pump the gas. If you giving your car a jump, tell your kid to come here and make them put the cables on. Because when they get older, this blue thing is windshield washer fluid, son. But he's looking under the hood of a car. This is this dope to him. And it's gonna stick when he get older. A lot of motherfuckers just, especially with this day and age, they just throw a cell phone in their kids' hand and go on about their merry way. That was kind of long, and y'all go ahead. My bad for the
Bro, that was fire. You just basically saying shit. The little things matter just as much as the big things. Like a child need to know how to navigate around their vicinity. Like you never know what could happen. You might have to depend on your child to save your life. And you might have to call them like, hey, remember how I taught you how to. Remember when I would make this left turn? I need you to go down and make that left turn, go this way. And like your child should be a branch of you. So like anything you learning and consuming, that should be passed down. Like because we learn infinitely. Like it doesn't stop. So as we learn, they should be learning while you learning as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I like the information, the higher learning topics we have. Like when we can break it down in a simple form to where a child can get it, that's when it's beautiful because now that child can utilize this same information because they understood it when you spoke it to them as a little kid, a little baby. You know what I mean? Then they get older, they like, oh, this is nothing. My mom and dad put me on. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So, but yeah, y'all got it. Go ahead.
And another dope motor skill is, say your kid 5 and under, as soon as they walk up to you, say, close your eyes. What color is my shirt? It makes them open their third eye because they're not looking. They'll be like, blue. And it's a training. It's an exercise. That's why they call all our work we did exercises. It's a mental exercise. Go ahead.
Yeah, kids should know what kid, oh, how you saying that word? The child should know how to reach their mom. They should know their mom and dad's name. They should know the phone number, and they should know their address at least by the age of 5. That's at the latest. They should know all these things. When they're 4, if they're talking good, most kids are talking good at 2 or 3. So when they start talking good, it's easy. The first thing to teach them is mommy name because a lot of people know what's crazy. They don't even think to tell their child or teach them their name. A lot of people here, a lot of people will have little kids that'll come up missing and they'll say, well, what's your mom's name? They'll say mom or mommy. What's your dad's name? Dad, daddy. I mean,
that's you're onto it because
you know what I'm saying?
I see that a lot.
Right, you know what I'm saying? What's your mom name? You know, that's what they know. They know mom is mom, dad is dad. So that's what you're gonna do. So when a kid is like 3, 4 years old, they should know at least your name and your phone number. By the time they're 5, they should know your name, your phone number, and their address. Period. I mean, they really should. I'm just gonna say that for anybody listening that has small kids.
Oh yeah, that man. That matters, man. That matters. Like you damn near want to almost teach your kid how to feed themselves by the time they're like 5, for real though. Because you never know what can happen. Like what if you get sick or something, or you break your arm, or you know what I mean, and you can't maneuver. Like like I said, you might have to depend on your child to save you, man. At a 5, 6-year-old, 7-year-old child. I was in them situations, but like I'm grateful that my mom and dad, like I said, they had me young, so like they had to teach me while they was learning. You know what I mean? So 5 years old, shit, I knew how to work the VCR. I knew how to fucking do everything I needed on my own. I didn't need them for nothing.
So I ain't playing.
Permission. You know what I mean? I just needed permission from them to do stuff. They like this
Even
natural stuff. They taught me all that by the time I was age 5. Go ahead, you got it, Sister Soul.
no, I'm sorry. I was gonna interrupt, baby. See, there it went. Because that was a good one. When you said that, it made me think of something else. Even it made me think of one time I wasn't feeling good, and I had to I told my grandson that I wasn't feeling good. He said, "Nana," he said, "You want me to make you some ginger tea?" He said, "Your tummy
Yeah,
hurt." I was like, "Yeah, baby." And then he was like, "I'm gonna make you some tea." So even like at like 6, 7, kids should know about small little things to heal. Like say if you have a stomach ache or something like that going on, they should be able to know how to like make you some tea. They should be able to know like how to like the brother said, make you a sandwich, be able to make themselves something to eat. Maybe they brother and sister, if they like 8, 9 or something, they should be able to take care of what's going on in the house. Like, they don't need that responsibility, but they should
right,
be able to take on that responsibility if
right,
need be.
right. Facts. Yeah, not saying that should be a chore of theirs, but just saying they shouldn't be dumbfounded if they in that situation. You know what I'm saying? It shouldn't be like that a child don't know what to do when shit get real and it's like, dang, you don't know how to make a sandwich. So you said something simple. You don't know how to do anything. Like I don't know. It's weird nowadays. Like our children, as a collective, man, they're kind of this technology, man, done took their minds a little bit. Like it's wild. Like they don't be knowing simple stuff like you said. So like parent, and it's the parents too. It's a duality. They don't be teaching their kids like their name. Like it be simple stuff like that. Like a child should know someone's name. You know what I mean? Their parents' name, their brother's name. But sometimes they just, oh, brother, brother, and like no, like don't dumb down your child. Like teach them how to communicate, and you know what I mean. Teach them what a stranger is and stuff like that. Like they need to know certain things. And
Yeah.
then like I said, even on
Ooh.
this deep knowledge that we spit on these panels, if we can break it down on a simple form, that's when you really like tapping in, because by the time, like I said, by the time they're our age, the children, boy, they'll be on a whole nother advanced level that we ain't even tapped into. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, bro. You said something else important. I remember from when I was little. I remember I used to go to school, my mom used to pick me up and then we'll go back to her job or whatever. She'll take, I guess her break time, she'll take her break time, come grab me from school and go back to work. So one day I guess she had an emergency meeting at her job and she couldn't come pick me up. So she sent her friend to come pick me up. So I'm looking like, my mom didn't, even though I knew her friend, I'm looking like my mom ain't tell me to go with you. A lot of times people think it's okay, because certain people like, oh, they know this person, I'm gonna just go because that's the usual person they see. You don't know if that's a whole nother subject. Let me stay to the subject. So anyway, my mom had her friend come to get me, and I'm like, I don't know this lady to come get me today. My mom come get me every day. I think I was maybe 7 or something, 6 or 7. So she was like, I know the code word. I looked at her and I was like, okay, now we good. But it's important, I think, to have a code word. Just tell your kids, just for safe. You might not never use it, but if for anything, any reason, you never know if an emergency happened or something like that. They should have a code word, not to just like go with some stranger or even the person you might be having an issue with a person. They may pick your kid up or whatever to call I mean, people do weird stuff. We dealing with a lot of weirdos nowadays, so I don't really trust in anything that could happen. So I just think that's another thing that's important for kids to know at like 5 or 4, give them a code word. If you somewhere at a park or something, or you with your brother or sister, they ain't paying attention. Somebody say, oh, come with me, it's emergency. Or, your mom said, come with me, whatever. They should have some kind of word. I just want to say that too.
Yeah, I agree. Uh, Indeed. Peace and love to everybody in the chat too. I ain't talk to the chat in a minute. Much love. I see everybody in there. Chris Cyphers, Lady Legs, Little Ron, Furious, Ghetto Child. Much love to all y'all. Peace and love to y'all, man. Yeah, no, man. I think we underestimate the child's mind. Like I said, they tapped into what Copperton say, that imagination. They tapped into that way more than we are, because we have been indoctrinated and have our own illusions that we deal with, on our own. So, like I said, if we utilize the child's imagination more properly, um, that's another way of, creating the reality we want, what we want to experience. So it always starts with the child. We gotta look out for them.
And yeah, bro, like you said, that imagination, because they have that so built up in them, and it's everything. The imagination is pretty much everything in this world that is good. So that's the image in motion, the imagination, image, and shun is the action of something. So it's the image in motion. So the imagination is a person picturing something that they want to be, or picturing something that is going to be into fruition because they've envisioned this. And once they have that envision, is inside of them, and that's what they vision, what's inside of them, and they're visioning, they're going to project out, therefore manifesting that thing. So that is their imagination, actually putting it in real motion. When you're doing that, that imagination actually is what is the spark of that energy to start that fuel into what that person is envisioning, so that they can go ahead and project that and start to manifest it and make it a part of what their being is, of what it is, whatever they wanted to do or be, or whatever they imagine. You know what I'm saying? Because it's that image that they thought of, and they're projecting it out, and then now they can go ahead and act on that, or use that to their benefit.
Like, imagine this, sister. So if we was like learning, all of us growing up, like 10 and under, if we grew up meditating on the regular, like really tapping into like breathing and um like controlling our emotions and visualization, things like that. Like, imagine if that was really like installed in us. We the conversations we have now, I believe will be beyond this. Like, we wouldn't have so much, like how I was saying, like some of us deal with PTSD, or just traumas and things they need to heal. Like, if we knew how to properly heal as children, before we even experienced half the stuff we experienced, I think we would be on a whole nother frequency right now. What you think about that?
Oh, for sure, brother. Listen, because it takes time. You with a lot of the things that we learn and grow, like we say, is what we envision, what we see, what we do. I think it takes a time for that. Some people have some of these things by basic instinct, or from their internal genes, stuff that their ancestors had in them, and they're like, dang, how I know this? Those things come in them, and they just don't know. And when my grandmother, she used to be a healer. I didn't really think about it, but when I think about when I was young, she did natural stuff all the time, you know. And then I'm thinking like this is just like something I do, but no, this was in me because my grandmother used to do the same thing. And now I just know other things, and I do different things because I'm in a different society. Like, oh, make the healthy smoothies, you can make the healthy teas, you can do this. Oh, I know how to infuse. Oh, da da da. All this stuff just came from like nowhere. I never went to a school or to a class. I tell people this all the time. I'm not a doctor. um, I never went to a school or, anything to learn these things, brother. I literally like went to bed, and, I'll wake up and the idea would be like, oh, go do this, go do that. And I'll say, okay, sure, I'll go do it. And there it was, so it just is fantastic, So some of these things really do just awaken in your genes, and you just can't help but ignite these things when you're insightful into things, when you're looking into things. That is the imagination. That's the same thing. You're projecting whatever you're thinking about. A thought comes into your mind. So something within me has awakened an idea and a part of something that was one of my ancestors. So now that particular gene is awakened. That binary coding, that frequency code is cracked and it's opened up. Now a portal in my mind breaks open basically to this idea, and it's formatted in my head, and I'm thinking like, oh, where'd this come from? There's an idea. Oh, that light bulb that popped off in my head. Now I'm able to take
Mm.
that light bulb of information, that energy, and I see that thought, and I'm like, oh, what is this? What can I do with it? I'm going to project that into something, and then I'm going to make use of this idea. So therefore I've manifested this,
So
and some of this has even come from my ancestors, something that was already inside me, and I've just been
so
holding on to it.
so now I got a question. Because you made me think. I'm listening to you, and it made me think. When you manifest, isn't it like saying you have to like tap into that childlike energy, that imagination, and that that will to act upon the imagination? Because think about it, like when a child is able to really like move on its own, like walk and run, and even communicate a little bit, they're all into everything. Like that the age 2 to 3, they're all over the place, experiment in reality. You know what I'm saying?
There's
So
no fear. Look, there's no
yeah,
like you just said with those kids, right? There's no fear. They love any and everybody. They don't if it's a stranger, somebody being mean to them. Kids don't even be knowing they still love them. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Kids are so their heart. They see, think, feel everything with their heart, and they just go on it. You know what I'm saying? So when a person is thinking with their heart, and then they're thinking with their mind, you're putting your heart into it. Your heart is all your energy that's pumping your blood, all that plasma, that light energy, bringing that energy and putting it together with the thought and the idea, like we just talked about, that idea that you have in motion, and so on and so forth. If you're thinking with a childlike mind, like you said, the most innocent mind. So if you have the most innocent mind, therefore you're at the purest of heart, right? If you're at the purest of heart, and then you have that thought, and then the heart and the thinking, those two things come into motion. The emotion of your heart, what you're feeling, that particular energy of your heart, and then now you have the thought. That's the action. The thought is the action. You're putting that thought, what you're feeling, together. When you combine those two things, boom, you push it out. Now you're therefore manifesting that thing, so on and so forth. If that's what you was asking me, bro. Everybody
yeah.
popped up. I'm talking too much, I think.
No, you was going in. Yeah, you know, yeah, that because I that imagination and that the action upon visualization. I think when you're in that childlike energy, even as a grown person, when you tap into that, that's what that is to me. Because the children are like more open to do that. We'll have hesitations, and a lot of that hesitation comes from fear, and fear comes from like the things you may have experienced or was taught or learned. You know, a child doesn't have that experience of what they should fear or not fear. You know how like they say fear also can block you from achieving or manifesting.
That's right.
So like a child doesn't really move in that fear like energy as much as say an adult will. You know what I mean? And I think
Yeah.
it's based upon what we already been experiencing and what we learned through the experience that creates these fears that kind of block us from being impulsive
Yeah.
upon our imagination like the child.
Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. Having the obstacles, all these blockages from all these different traumas and things that happen to us that are actually laying weight on our mind, and actually putting pressures on our brain, basically formatting all these different thoughts and memories and emotions that a person deals with, and a lot of times they're not really dealing with them because they're suppressing them. So that's why they're still having those issues, instead of releasing them, letting them go, or whatever the case may be. A lot of times they're trapped up under the spell of that mess. So
Hmm. Big facts. Big facts. So
yes. But yeah, bro, I'm head down. I'm a little tired. I appreciate you having me up. It was nice chatting, and great build.
oh
Um,
yeah, no problem. I'm gonna still get with you because we got to talk about this. I took some pictures
Oh,
interesting pictures too, sis.
oh, email them, send it to me, bro. So when we do a live, I can pull them right on up.
Yeah, cause I
Thank
seen
you so much.
I got some cloud pictures that I want to
Mm,
kind of like break down with you.
okay, sound
So
good.
I'm gonna email you though. I'm gonna email you soon for sure.
All right, you know I love that. I'm down. I'm down. Yes, what you say, Lexus? I heard you saying something, sis.
I
I know
was
you
saying thank
outside.
you so much because my children are still, 4 and 9. So I was like soaking up all your knowledge. So thank you so much.
Yes, sis. Yes,
So,
you already know, babe.
yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, I gotta get going to bed too soon. So I'm gonna jump down with you. But I wanted to say I appreciate it because everybody that was up here speaking because, it was like giving me like, okay, I'm doing some things right, or ooh, you know, um, when you were talking about the code word, we have like a sound. So I was like, okay, so
Mm,
it's like
yep.
okay, so the code sound, like things like that. So I was like, okay, you know, or different things like Sir Drop was saying, and so I just want to, thank you guys because it does help. You know, you are on this journey and you're trying to do the right thing, and not trying to raise indoctrinated or I don't know how to put it, but stay outside the box and stuff. So,
Hmm.
Exactly.
well, thank you all. Peace and love. Good night.
Good
So,
night, sweetheart.
okay.
All right, bro. Have a good one. I'm out too. You have a good one. I holler at you. Yeah, send me the pics and we'll set up something when you free. I know you be working doing your hair and stuff.
Yep. I'll get in touch with you, sister. So real soon.
All right, huh?
All right. Peace and
Peace.
love.
Peace.
Uh, yeah, man. I ain't finna stay up too much longer. Big dog Philly OG, what's up? Are you here? Mic check. Peace everybody in the chat too, man. He might have went go ahead and digress. He been up he been up with me building all day. We had some great builds with Sister Alma, man. We did a whole 10 hours. This is basically almost 13 hours for me, no cap. I did 10 hours with Sister Alma earlier today. And man, that was a fire build. That was some great energy over there. We talked about a lot of stuff. We had a one-on-one with her, and we just kind of carried the. This was like the after party, really. We just kind of swung it over here. But put me peace and love to everybody that swing through though. You know what I mean? Balanced Truth, Lady Legs, Chris Cyphers, all y'all. How y'all feeling? I'll talk to y'all in the chat. Anything y'all want to talk about before I shut it down. Peace to R Cook for hopping on. Uh, yeah. Again, shout out to Ghetto Child and Lil Ron coming through. Super since day one. Mommy Chula, Lady Shea Butter, Butter. Uh, yeah, man. Shout out to all y'all for real. Alexis again. Peace and love to you, Empress Goddess, Raw. Shout out to all y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all y'all. Yeah, so man, y'all just, the thing is always just take care of yourself and you know, when we take care of yourself, it helps each other. Like that's what we kind of got to look at it like when you take care of yourself, that's how you help each other as well. That's like kind of like a code to the matrix or this reality, you know, because I know that's what we're kind of figuring out. Like we got to, it's a self journey, but we interact. We still got people we interact with. So the better you take care of yourself, the better you love yourself, the better you know who you are and learn about yourself, the easier it is for you to know how to navigate with others. Because the more stuff you don't take personal, the more stuff you kind of accept as your reality, the more you protect your energy from certain things that don't allow you to be in the energy you don't want to be in. It's not, like sis said, it's not really that hard. It's just uncomfortable. Sometimes you might have to adjust your feelings and things like that. Adjusting your feelings or not reacting to something. Sometimes you want to react. You might be triggered. You want to like react to it, and it's like, nah, it's not the time to do that. And that's uncomfortable sometimes. Sometimes you might have to. It's the opposite sometimes. Sometimes you have to speak up for yourself. And that can be uncomfortable as well, you know? So it's like you just got to know your weaknesses. You got to know your strengths. You got to know self. And then that helps you communicate with others and explain to others, what you do to help you in your reality. That's how I see it, my perspective. Another insight from the guy. But yeah, Philly OG, I think he digressed. So peace and love to y'all, man. I'm gonna digress too. Go ahead and relax. I appreciate y'all all. Hit the like button if you haven't. Much love to all y'all. Thanks for coming through. Protect your energy, man. Peace and love to y'all. Know thyself, heal thyself, love thyself.